Gopay drives one to centre left base. Kick then Gopay. And it gets through the infield, straight over the top of Mike Pajama at third. And gets him swing again and sits him down.
Beautiful, beautiful. Brendan will get across, he'll throw off balance, it's in time. Moen Aroa scoops it for the out.
Murphy gets back to the ball, he drives down the right side,
Moen Aroa base hit the right field, that'll score two, and the Blue Sox take the lead.
So that's why.
Pops one up on the infield, can have Gopay get to it, I'll tell him and he can.
1-2 pitch from Van Steensel.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Merry Christmas and welcome to Blue Sox Baseball, proudly brought to you by Sports Broadcasting Australia. We're broadcasting live on Blue Sox TV via YouTube from Blacktown International Sports Park on this Friday night, the 27th of December 2019. Good evening, I'm Paul Harrow-Harradine, and along with Big Cam Hickson, we are the Blue Crew for this series, and we are ready to go for the homeward run to the Claxton Shield season 2019-20 as the Sydney Blue Sox take on the Perth Heat in a 4-game holiday bonanza over this next 4 days. And right now we're going to go to Big Cam and bring in the other half of the Blue Crew.
Okay, massive series coming up here at Blacktown International for both teams. The visiting Perth Heat, they lost a series 3-1 last week to the Adelaide Giants and also lost top spot on that very coveted South-West Division lead. They now trail the Adelaide Giants. The Blue Sox, they fell over in the ditch. They went 0-4 in fact to the New Zealand Auckland Tuatara. The Blue Sox also giving up first place in their Northeast Division and now trail the Tuatara by 2 games. The Perth Heat have failed to trouble the scorer in their last 22 innings. The Blue Sox, as I said, they're on a 5-game losing streak. So all to play for. This series could decide the fate of these two teams in terms of the season. If one team gets swept away, so may their hopes of the Claxton Shield get swept away with them.
Absolutely. Both expected to be there when the whips are cracking. We're exactly halfway through the season. Now, if you'd like to be part of our broadcast during this series, we'd love you to have you on board. And there's a couple of ways of contacting us as well. We give you a shout out. We let the other viewers know that you're contacting us. Let us know which players you're following, which clubs you're following, and what your thoughts are about the ABL generally. The ways to contact us are now on SMS 0412 203 068. Don't be shy, come forward. That's 0412 203 068. That's on a short message service on your phone. Or you can get us via Twitter. And the Twitter handle is at Blue Sox TV. Very, very simple, at Blue Sox TV. And that will come through to us on Twitter. And we will acknowledge your message, as long as it's all above board, of course. But please put your name and where you're from and what time it is, if you're especially from overseas. We do have a lot of internationals in these games this weekend. So if you're from overseas and you're watching friends and relatives or whatever, if you're having a house party and you've got a lot of people there watching, then let us know all the details and we'll give you a great big shout out. So we'd love to say hello to everybody. So I'll go again. On Twitter it is at Blue Sox TV, or on your SMS 0412 203 068. And now when we got to the ballpark today, Big Cam was out and about, loitering around downstairs, hanging around in the dugouts among the players and officials. And he's even managed to catch up with a couple of the players before today's important game. And we're going to bring you those interviews right now that Big Cam was able to get a little bit earlier.
And welcome to Blue Sox TV. We're lucky enough to be joined by a man who played his 100th game last week across the ditch in New Zealand. Welcome to Blue Sox TV, Max Brennan.
Thanks, mate.
Max, tell us a little bit about these 100 games. Probably 5 or 6 years ago, there was no chance you'd have seen yourself playing 100 games with the Blue Sox yet. Last week, there it was over there in NZ.
Yeah, mate, the time definitely has gone quick. I think this is the 5th year that I've been a part of the program. First year back after college, had decent game time, and then the season after that didn't get to play. And then, yeah, the last couple of years, yeah, been getting more of an opportunity, which is really good. So to get that 100, it kind of snuck up on me. I didn't actually realise until a few days before it that was approaching, but no, it's very exciting.
It's really nice to see that you're developing into a full baseballer. You're taking on a bit of a Trent D'Antonio role here in the Blue Sox, filling in the infield, which I know is one of your preferred positions, also filling in the outfield when required, getting up there, getting that average up to a really handy sort of spot with the bat. You see yourself in that sort of role, or would you like to try and tie down one of those infield positions?
Oh, mate, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, I'm just happy to be in the lineup, but more importantly, just happy to be on this program. It is an honour to be out here and, you know, really enjoying it. So, mate, if I'm in the infield, if I'm in the outfield, if I'm playing first base, I really don't care. Yeah, just whatever's best for the team, and hopefully I can do that moving forward.
That's it, just in the field somewhere, just get me into the game, coach. I just want to be part of it,
Exactly
which is great. Mate, how do you see the next 100 going? I mean, I know that might be a long way away and you know, lots of things happen between now and then, but still looking to advance, still looking to possibly go back to the States, play some ball over there maybe. I know you've tried it and been there and it's a grind, but you know, what's the next 2 or 3 years hold for Max Brennan?
Not really sure. I just want to get through this game first. Yeah, no, the American days are definitely over. I did the college thing and not really interested in doing anything else over there. I mean, I'm not the sort of ball player to go back over there, but yeah, hopefully I can stick around the ABL for a few more years and go from there. But yeah, no, just keep building on my game and a little bit more relaxed now that 100's hit. So yeah, just enjoying every minute of it, I guess.
Well, I know the Blue Sox fans want one thing from you, Max, that's to bring home a Claxton Shield, at least make it to the big dance. Give them some sort of hope. We've been lacking a little bit of hope here in Sydney the last few years, so the fact that you've got 100 on the board and you've really worked yourself into an integral part of this Blue Sox outfit is sensational. We wish you all the best of luck for the next 100, the rest of the season, and hopefully you can bring home a Claxton Shield for the Sydney fans.
Hopefully too. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. And welcome back to Blue Sox TV, where we've been lucky enough to be joined by a man that's marked another milestone here with the Blue Sox, playing his 200th game and returning home now after playing those 200. Welcome, Alex Howe, to Blue Sox TV.
Thank you very much.
Mate, just tell us a little bit about those 200 games. I mean, probably 6 or 7 years ago yourself, like you weren't you considered a Blue Sox player, a standard on the lineup every week in, every week out. You've battled hard, you've worked hard, and now you find yourself pretty much a regular in the outfield and filling in some holes for this Blue Sox lineup.
Yeah, it's been a great ride, great sort of career in the ABL. Very happy to be a part of the Blue Sox organisation. You know, did my time over in college in the States and come back, and you know, was looking forward to playing professional baseball in Australia, and you know, and like I said, it's just been sort of a dream come true, and you know, I wouldn't want to do it with any other organisation than the Sydney Blue Sox.
We've been lucky enough on the Summer of Baseball and Sports Broadcasting Australia to see you around the State League and plying your trade around there, and we knew it wouldn't have been too long until you got your opportunities out here. Just tell a few of the viewers and everything, how is that college through the system? I know it's really hard for most people, but how is it for an Aussie going over there trying to find the college experience and then transitioning into life in professional baseball?
Yeah, so I had a fantastic time in college. I was very fortunate. You know, from an early age, you kind of, when you're over there and you're away from your family and you're on your own for the first time, you kind of have that sit down with yourself and say, do I really want to do this? And I did, and you know, and I think, and I give myself a lot of credit for that in terms of, you know, that's why it was so successful. That's why I've got lifelong friends from the States. Like I said, you know, you get a chance to go to university but also play baseball. There's not too much better than that.
It's not a difficult choice to make, is it? Really, one thing left to do in the ABL for you, I would imagine, and that would be to bring home a shield to Sydney?
Oh, 100%. That's our goal. We've been working for it for each year. You know, we were close last year, kind of got back into the playoffs, and it just didn't go our way. You know, it is extremely hard. You know, Brisbane do make it look extremely easy, but I can tell you now it's not, and it is extremely hard to win that shield at the end of the season.
Tough series for you guys over the ditch in New Zealand, swept on a 5-game losing streak. How do you break that, get back into the winner's circle and put this division back on your terms?
Yeah, it's a good one. It was a tough series, you know, and we're kind of in the second half now. So we're in second place. That's not a terrible spot to be in, really.
Well, you've got a lot of home games to come too. You've got 3 of the last 5 home series here at Blue Sox, which is a good fortress.
Yes,
for
and
the
you know,
Sox.
really excited to see that, you know, play in front of our home fans. You know, last year this place was bumping. Can't wait to see what the crowd's going to bring tonight and this whole series. You know, we just got to get going. We really got to play good baseball and be around each other, and you know, we're more than capable of doing that.
Oh, absolutely. The record is good here at Blue Sox Stadium. So, Alex, we wish you all the best on the run to the semi-finals. Hopefully another 100 or 200 more for you out in the outfield. There's plenty more to do. Enjoy the rest of the season. Hopefully you guys can at least make the semis and make the big dance for the Blue Sox fans.
That's our goal.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Blue Sox TV, where we are joined by a man playing game number 300 for the Blue Sox. We've had the privilege to see this young man grow up in front of our eyes in the State Baseball League and here at Blue Sox Stadium. He's experienced the highs and lows that come with professional baseball, but always ends up walking off the field with a smile on his face. He gives up a lot of his time for junior baseball and development of the sport around the area, yet all this is still only 26 years of age. He's heading out there tonight to play game 300 for the Sydney Blue Sox. Please welcome to Blue Sox TV, Jacob Eunice.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Jacob, 300 is a phenomenal effort. As we said, you've been around this organisation 10 years as a fresh-faced 16-year-old. But tell us, growing up in Sydney, which is a cricket-predominant, city, it's the big sport here. How did you develop your love for baseball, and where did you play your juniors, and who had an influence on you?
Growing up as a kid, I was always around the baseball field, watching my old man play. He was also the coach of my brother's team as well, so going out to my brother's games and trainings, and it was just always something we'd do every weekend. I think a weekend without baseball was, we were confused as to what to do, which, we didn't know what to do with the spare time, which I guess a lot of guys are like the same. So in terms of influential people, definitely my parents. They, from a young age, they've supported me through the highs and lows of my career. They've given up so much for me, and there's without a doubt that I wouldn't be here today without them. So their support as well. So it was good.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. And back in 2011, you got signed to a contract with the Twins organisation. Just explain some of the highs and lows that a young man, just turned, what was it, 18 back then? I would imagine it would have been 18 or 19, gets signed to a professional organisation, and some of the highs and lows that you would have gone through during that time in flirting with professional baseball in the States.
Yeah, of course, definitely. You nailed on the head. Highs and lows, definitely. I think guys sign a minor league contract, and it's the most exciting time for them in their career. But what they don't realise is when they get there, they're just another number in the pecking order. There's definitely some lows over there. You're so far away from family and friends, and all the sacrifices that you give up. You miss birthdays, family functions, weddings, everything. So, and the highs over there. Look, you're playing the game you love every single day. So, that's your job. It's better than a 9 to 5 here. I'd take that any day of the week. But it definitely is a grind. It's a lot of hard work. Nothing comes easy once you get to the States. So a lot of guys here have had the privilege of moving up the ranks and maybe even making the big leagues. But just know that nothing comes with extremely hard work and a lot of sacrifice.
Oh, absolutely, and it is one of the reasons why a lot of players can't make it to that top echelon. It's just numbers. It's just purely, as you say, it's a numbers game. There are so many people from all around the world trying to cram into a 40-man roster, and the numbers just don't fit. But 10 years ago, as a fresh-faced 16-year-old, there came a thing called the ABL here to Australian baseball. A lot of people, myself included, weren't ever sure that it would happen again, being part of it first time around, but it happened, and a young Jacob Eunice got a run as a 16-year-old for a couple of games in season 1 and never looked back. Did you think back then, as a 16-year-old, 10 years later, you'd be running out for game 300 for the one organisation, the Sydney Blue Sox?
I've been really lucky in my career to play for such a great organisation. They really look after the Australian guys here. Honestly, no. When I was 16, I didn't know what I wanted to do next year, so I had no idea. But yeah, like I said, lucky enough, I've been given plenty of opportunities to grow my career here and my reputation around the ball club, and now it's just second nature. I wouldn't play for anyone else. So.
All right, a couple of fun ones to end up. What did you get for Christmas? How was Christmas to Jacob? What did Santa bring?
A lot of food and a lot of drinks. Probably going to be feeling it today, but that's if you don't put on a few kilos over Christmas, you're doing it wrong. So.
Fair enough. It's all about the joy. Yeah. Now, if you could be an elite sports athlete in any other sport, what sport would it be? And why?
Jeez, probably in the NBA. Just because it's never gonna happen for me. But you see the accolades that they do, and how high they're up on a pedestal. So I got some growing to do.
Fair enough. And the last question for you, do you have any superstitions or things that you have to do before you go out on the field? Like, does a left boot have to be put on before the right boot or anything like that? We know baseballers are a funny mob.
Plenty of them. I've got plenty of them, but if I told you, I wouldn't be a superstition. So there you go.
Thanks for your time, Jacob. Congratulations on 300 games with the Blue Sox. We hope that we see you for at least 100 more to break the all-time playing record. You're still a young man, 26. You've still got 5 or 6 top-quality years, if not 10, here with the Blue Sox. So we hope to see you around for quite a little deal more. Best of luck bringing home the shield to Sydney.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much to Jacob Eunice for his time here on Blue Sox TV. He runs out very shortly for Game 300 when the Blue Sox take on Perth in a massive series here at Blue Sox Stadium.
Thanks, Cam, and we are straight into the middle of the national anthem here, just about to wind up. Then we'll bring you the defensive lineup for the Sydney Blue Sox. And there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Blue Sox Stadium, where we are in the big suite at the top of the grandstand here, where the Blue crew are broadcasting the game for you tonight. We've just got the tail end of the national anthem after those pre-recorded interviews by Big Cam, and he's getting better and better at it every interview and every game that we go.
Got to get better at it, Harry. You can't get worse. Somebody's got to do it.
We're like the national emblem of Australia. We don't step backwards for anybody.
That's it.
Now the defensive lineup for the Sydney Blue Sox in tonight's Game 1. Sydney Blue Sox v the Perth Heat. In right field, it's Michael Krause. In centre field, Michael Campbell. At left field, Alex Howe. Third baseman is Jacob Eunice. At shortstop, it's Gift and Gopay. The second baseman, Andy Burns. The first baseman is Boss Moanaroa. And the starting battery for the Sydney Blue Sox tonight. Behind the plate, Jack Murphy, and on the mound it is Alex Mastry.
And the Perth Heat tonight, they will come to the plate in the following order. Centre fielder Tim Kennelly will lead off. And second baseman Pete Cosma will bat 2. Jordan Cassar will bat 3. He'll be playing right field. Robbie Glendinning, he will be the shortstop tonight in the 4-hole. Kaleo Johnson will bat 5, playing first base. Nico Holsizer is your left fielder tonight in the 6-hole. Roberto Alvarez bats 7 and he's doing the catching, while Alex Hall bats 8 and is tonight's designated hitter, while Jess Williams will bat 9. He will play third base, and Dylan Unsworth will be your starting pitcher for the Perth Heat.
And there's 2 fantastic lineups here for tonight's Game 1. And both these teams desperate to do well and win this series over this next 4 days. And the umpiring lineup for tonight's Game 1, behind the plate is Ben Nash. At first base, it's umpire Bob Crawford. The second base umpire is Riley Barrington. And out at third base is Connor Casey.
And stepping up for game 298, we believe. We've got that on the stats, so we believe Sunday will be game 300. Is Mr. Perth Heat himself, Tim Kennelly. First pitch from Maestri is in there for a called strike. We are underway here at Blue Sox Stadium. Game 1 of the 4-game series, the Blue Sox versus the Perth Heat. Division leading positions on the line for both teams. Maestri misses low and outside with the second pitch. You will have to bear with us tonight. There are some gremlins at Blacktown International Sports Park. Not only some floating around here in the commentary box, but the scorers are having all sorts of trouble. As Kennelly lifts this one deep to left field. Howe's getting around. He will have to take it on the bounce. And Tim Kennelly in with a base hit, takes a big turn at first base and heads back with a game lead-off single. Tim Kennelly doing what he does so well for the Perth Heat, getting aboard and giving them a threat early on.
And Kennelly had a big think about going to second there. That ball went so far, it was a long way out there for Alex Howe, but he thought about Alex Howe's arm and getting that into second base, so Kennelly retreated back to first. Probably a very, very wise move, because it would have brought about a decent play at second base, I'm sure.
Just saying that at-bat for Tim Kennelly was at-bat 1,201. Well, his last at-bat in the series against the Adelaide Giants, he had his 1,200. That's 1,200 at-bats in the ABL.
Gee
so that was 1,201. And he's still only third on the list, Harrow, behind Alan Desan and David Sutherland.
Wowee.
So a storied career for Tim Kennelly, and a player that has so often broken the hearts of these Sydney Blue Sox over the years.
One of many Kennelly brothers.
Indeed, and we will hopefully be having a chat to Tim on Sunday before game 300. So Perth Heat fans, tune in a little bit early, about 10 minutes before game time on Sunday, and you can listen to the interview I'll be having with Tim Kennelly about his 300 games here in the ABL.
Fantastic. Both of these clubs, of course, sitting second on their respective tables. North East League, Sydney Blue Sox are second behind Auckland Tuatara, and the South West League, Adelaide Giants leading ahead of Perth Heat, sitting in second place.
Pete Cosma now chops one up the middle, double play ball for Ngope. He'll step on second base, fire it across the first base, and the Blue Sox have a twin killing here in the first. They will take care of Kennelly's base hit, and they will take care of Pete Cosma at first base. And Cosma with that very friendly chopper up the middle to gift Ngope. And Ngope needs no further introduction or offer to be able to just step on second base, turn a double play and help Alex Maestri to try and get out of a little bit of a jam that Kennelly was trying to put him in early here in the top of the first.
The scorebook can be cruel to some people, can't it, after the good work that Kennelly did? Just goes down as the first out.
So the 6-4 to 3 double play. Unassisted 6-3 double play.
Thank you. I thought I was wrong for a minute.
No, unassisted 6-3. This one hit hard to right field. It's a chance. It's going deep. One hops the wall. Rounding first will be Kassar. Heads to second. Sliding in and safe at second base. Jordan Kassar with a first pitch double off the wall in right field.
Oh, absolutely got all of it. And it was a one hopper into the fence there, and wisely Michael Kraus stayed off the wall and just let it hop back into his glove, turned and made a throw. But Ngope waiting at second base, but the feet of Jordan Kassar in there underneath. Good running, good base running, good aggressive running. So runner in scoring position at second base now, Jordan Kassar for the Perth Heat.
That's his sixth double on the season, and with the conditions we've got here this evening, which is just some light cloud, not much at all, still a very warm and humid evening here at Blacktown. The wind actually blowing out for one of the first times here at Blacktown, a very unusual breeze. It's almost blowing from third base out to that right field wall, so that ball had a little bit of carry on it courtesy of the breeze, and if you're going to hit one out of Blacktown tonight, where Jordan Kassar hit it is the right direction to be aiming it. So now runner in scoring position, line drive at Ngope. He will come up with it, and that will end the innings. So the Perth Heat, they will strand the runner at second base in Jordan Kassar. Robbie Glendenning sees one pitch, line drives it straight to gift Ngope for the third out. And we are done through the first half of the first inning here at Blacktown International Sports Park. It is the Blue Sox and the Perth Heat tied at zeros as we go into the break.
And for all your printer and copier needs, speak to the professionals at Mitronics. Mitronics are Australia's largest brand independent office equipment and supplies company. Mitronics are proud to be wholly Australian owned and operated, and stock all the best and most famous brands of printers and copiers. Mitronics guarantee to better any valid Australian quote, so you can be sure you're getting the best value and service when you buy or lease your chosen product from Mitronics. So jump online and check out their massive range of printers and copiers and all of the services they provide at mitronics.com.au. Of course, Mitronics are proud sponsors of the Sydney Blue Sox.
And back here at Blue Sox Stadium, we are through the first half of the first inning. I will run through the Perth Heat defensive lineup for you. In right field, Jordan Kassar. Centre field, Tim Kennelly. In left field, Nico Holsizer. The third baseman is Jess Williams. The shortstop, Robbie Glendenning. The second baseman, Pete Cosma. The first baseman, Kaleo Johnson. And the battery behind the plate is Roberto Alvarez. And on the mound from Durban, South Africa, is the big 6'1" right-hander, Dylan Unsworth.
Yep, and he's an imposing sight on the mound up there. The Sydney Blue Sox will come to the plate in this order. Jacob Eunice will lead off from Gift and Ngope, followed by Andy Burns, Boss Moanarawa in the 4 slot, followed by Michael Kraus and Trent D'Antonio in the DH role. Then Alex Howe at 7, Jack Murphy 8, and Michael Campbell at 9, batting 9. We've got some messages coming in. I'll get to those very, very shortly.
So the Blue Sox will be led off by Jacob Eunice, man playing game 300 tonight for the Sydney Blue Sox. And a curveball from Unsworth to start things off. Eunice was 5 from 14 last week against the Tuatara. It's currently on a 3-game hitting streak. Unsworth misses inside. Unsworth settles again now, comes to the plate. Another breaking pitch, a slow chopper towards third base. No, it comes off the foot of Eunice, going to be called foul. So the count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. This is going to be good tonight. Harrow, we're going to actually have to watch the umpires and keep an actual a ball and strike count.
Yeah, we'll have to provide all the viewers and probably most of the people at the ground with the scoreline. Some
gremlins in and around the 2 sky boxes up the back here. No scoreboard in action out here at Blue Sox Stadium tonight. And that one will hit Eunice. Happy 300th, Jacob. Have this one in the back. Hit by pitch, but the lead off a board, which is what Sydney would like to do.
That's all that matters.
It's what Perth did. Unfortunately, they grounded into a double play. Let's see how Sydney can fare any better as Gift Nagope comes to the plate.
Katie's online big Cam.
Hello, Katie. Hope you got your belt. Did you get your belt? We never found out whether you got your belt or not.
Passed the karate grading, but got an injury during the sparring portion of the grading. Did her ACL.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah. Anterior cruciate ligament.
As I said, plenty of people on the chat on the YouTube channel and on Twitter. You want to send us a tweet at Blue Sox TV. Simple as that for Twitter. We're more than happy to give you a shout out. A few of those coming through. We'll do it in the innings break after the commercial.
Karate might be over with a kick to the knee.
Well, that's it. Sweep the leg, Daniel.
Yeah,
sweep the legs. Sweep the leg. Shows you how old I am.
Katie's been swept, I think.
Unsworth ready to go again to Nagope. This one's inside.
Oh dear.
1 ball and 1 strike on Nagope. Jacob Eunice stands at first base, nobody out. Bottom of the first innings, no score on the board. Ben Nash calls time. As Dylan Unsworth wants to dig himself in on the first base side of the pitcher's plate. Open up a little bit more of the angle. Fires a fastball in for a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Nagope. Jacob Eunice only with the 1 stolen base this season. Not really a base stealing threat. He will try and hit and runs and situations like that, but not generally a base stealing threat. Curveball to Nagope is hit towards third base. Chance of a double play. They pick up the first part. Nagope runs well and he'll beat out the second part, but they will pick up Eunice on the 5-4. They just couldn't get Nagope on the 4-3. So Eunice the first out here in the bottom of the first for the Blue Sox.
Great running by Nagope. He really tore up the line there, and that's the way to get safe, but still in the same position. The Blue Sox 1 out, 1 runner at first base. But Andy Burns comes to the plate. We get to the meat of the order for the Blue Sox now through Burns and Moen Aroa.
So Andy Burns steps into the batter's box for the Blue Sox. 3:24 on the season. This one hit to left field. It's going to get over the head of Holsizer. This could score a run. Eunice is rounding third and they've put the brakes on him at the last moment. He will hold up at third base.
Yep, Brian Murphy, the coach at third base, holds him up.
Burns
and he's blowing up. Gift is blowing up saying, come on, I've got the wheels. You know I could have made it, Murph.
Gift Nagope was held at third. Andy Burns a stand-up double. Blue Sox now with runners at second and third and only 1 out. No score on the board as boss Moen Aroa steps into the batter's box. He leads the Sydney Blue Sox all time for home runs.
Absolutely, and I think, really Brian Murphy's a very astute coach there at third, and what he's done is just build a lot of pressure against the Perth defence here, and he's opened a big opportunity for Boss to maybe bump a couple of runs in.
And just for some of the people asking here as Moen Aroa takes a called strike, the air quality is excellent here at Blacktown International Sports Park. Thankfully, we had a little bit of minor rain on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day here, which allowed the firefighters to get the upper hand on most of the blazes in and around Sydney. And thankfully, the air quality is back to excellent here. No problems with haze or smoke here at Blacktown this evening.
And for all our viewers up north, anybody watching from Brisbane, southeast Queensland, northern New South Wales, I can tell you there's been big storms up there. Christmas Eve, there was a massive storm in Brisbane, and it did get a bit of a drenching up in that area, which was a real godsend.
Moen Aroa 0-2 pitch is just low and inside.
But on my drive down the coast yesterday and this morning, Cam, coming through areas like Taree and surrounding areas, the fires have just ravaged that whole area.
Oh, absolutely. Has been a very, very bleak December for a lot of people in country New South Wales and Queensland.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to all of those people affected by the bushfires.
1-2 pitch to Moen Aroa. It's chopped foul down the first base side, out of play. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runners at third and second. There is 1 away here in the bottom of the first. No score on the board, the Perth Heat and the Sydney Blue Sox.
And Gift and Gopay from third, just taking a little warm-up run towards home plate there. We just see him strolling back now to tag up. Play won't be called until he tags up on that base, and play resumes with that shot from centre field over the shoulder of the pitcher, Unsworth.
Moen Aroa chops one into the pool. They should score a run. It's fumbled by Cosma deep in. Well, you call it deep second base. I call it shallow right field, as they played a bit of a shift on Moen Aroa. Nagope was going to score anyway because Cosma was so deep in that position. But Moen Aroa gets aboard. It probably should be scored an E4.
Would have to be an E4, Cam.
But without the scoreboard, we will put it on for the time being, and we will check game centre as it goes on. Andy Burns advances to third base, and that will leave the Blue Sox now with runners on the corners with only 1 out here in the bottom of the first, and they now lead it 1-0 over the Perth Heat. We've seen how effective Alec Maestri can be when he gets a little bit of a lead under his belt. He's a very, very good pitcher, and the Blue Sox will play from the front tonight as Michael Krause will take the first pitch for a called strike.
Yeah, Maestri loves to lead from the front, and he will step up and do a job there. He's just unbelievably good behind a good batting lineup.
Maestri now takes a called strike. Falls behind 0-2. Unsworth needs to get himself out of this jam. Keep the Perth Heat close. Breaking pitch, it's a little, excuse me, check swing. They're probably going to score another run. They're going to look for the double play. They're not going to get it. Moen Aroa will slide into second base and be the second out on the fourth. They will not get Michael Krause, who will be aboard courtesy of the fielder's choice, and that will bring Andy Burns home from third. He will score, and the Blue Sox will lead it 2-0 here in the bottom of the first.
Wow. That's the way to jump out. And that's what I was talking about. Coach Murphy there at third, just applying the pressure and working the runs in, not waiting for the dramatic play at home plate and putting the team at risk.
Well, if Gift gets toasted at the plate, they're 2 out, and they don't have to play as deep. Runner goes, first pitch, goes Michael Krause and goes sliding into second base with a stolen base. Not sure that Unsworth picked him up. He got a massive jump there on Unsworth, and pretty much an uncontested stolen base for Michael Krause.
I think the way Unsworth turned and looked at second base, he was in total surprise.
Only Krause's second stolen base of the season. As D'Antonio swings through, D'Antonio has had his trouble with the bat this season. Has generally been leading off for the Sydney Blue Sox, but batting $1.37, and usually a man that bats somewhere around the 260, 270 mark, but it will happen for him. He is a very patient, very disciplined batter. Just needs to get things going.
He wants a little taste of it.
This one slaps straight up the middle, but straight up Glendinning, who gets a horrible hop. It bounces out into centre field, and rounding third and scoring will be Michael Krause. 3-0. The Blue Sox lead the Heat. Wow, what a horrible kick that was for Robbie Glendinning. It just kicked up off the dirt, off the heel of the glove, and out into shallow centre field. And D'Antonio I guess that one will probably be scored a base hit because it was a horrible kick. There was nothing much Glendinning could do about it.
Tough play. It's the top level in Australia, Cam. It's ABL.
But he was there and it kicked up at his head. He had to come up with it. I'm saying that's a hit for D'Antonio and a run batted in for Trent D'Antonio.
I'll go with you this time. I've just weakened.
So that will now give the Blue Sox 3 runs across the plate. D'Antonio standing at first with 2 out here in the first.
And it ain't over. Alex Howe at the plate now.
As we saw, Alex played his 200th game last week. A quick snap throw up the line from Alvarez to Johnson. But back goes Trent D'Antonio head first into first base safely. Yeah, Alex Howe, we saw him, I think, Manly, when he came back from college. Harrow, you were at Manly at the time. Did he go straight to Manly when he came back from college, Alex?
Alex Howe, no.
He worked around
Alex
the
Howe,
state league.
Blacktown.
He went to Blacktown when he came back. As he swings through strike 3, he will go down on strikes. Unsworth will get out of the inning. Not before some damage was done by the Blue Sox, however. They plate 3 here in the bottom of the first inning. And as the first innings comes to an end, it is the Blue Sox leading the Perth Heat 3-0. Back shortly.
In 1928, Petrus Cornelis Nicholas Middendorp founded his business, Middendorp Electric Goods Supply Company, selling imported light globes, vacuum cleaners and other electrical products. Business began booming, so Petrus and his sons opened the first Middendorp branch in a converted church on La Trobe Street in Melbourne in 1956. This was the first of many branches that would eventually spread across the country, trading as Middies in its signature pink colour.
And welcome back to Blue Sox Stadium, where we have just seen the completion of the first innings between the Blue Sox and the Perth Heat. The Sox kick away to a 3-0 lead.
We might take the opportunity, Harrow, to say hello to a few people. Steve Merrill, he's out there tuned in again. He'll be out here tomorrow at the game. And he wants us to do a shout out to Riley Jones, who's having his 11th birthday today. So happy birthday, Riley, if you're sitting down watching the Blue Sox taking on the Perth Heat. He's a power-hitting catcher with the Yarrawarra Tigers.
Good on you, Riley. Power-hitting catcher, just like you, Big Cam.
In the day, yeah, once upon a time.
He might become a broadcaster one day.
Once upon a time, back in the dim, dark ages when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. Great to have him aboard, Nathan Brammer. Nathan is coming out on Sunday, so he'll drop up and say hello to us up here in the skybox. If you are a Sydney Blue Sox supporter and you do head out here to the game, by all means, come up to the back of the grandstand. The 2 little boxes, they're our broadcasting booths. More than welcome to come and say hello. We'd love to say hello and put some names to faces. Also, everybody on the Twitter feed, good evening or good afternoon if you're over on the other side of this big continent of ours. We love having you guys with us. And yes, it is 3-0 in what was a surprise start for the Blue Sox, as Kaleo Johnson will lead things off for the Perth Heat. 1 ball and 1 strike. His count. Playing first base tonight for the Perth Heat. Batting 304, 304 on the season. As he takes another strike from Alessandro, Italian pitcher, Italian national team pitcher.
And nosy stuff.
Quality pitcher.
Yeah, every time he steps out there, he does a great job.
Quality pitcher for the Sydney Blue Sox. Little foul off the foot of Murphy this time, as you see him hopping away there, limping up the line, down onto the inside of Murphy's left foot by the looks of things. As he stretches that one out, goes for a walk, and home plate umpire Ben Nash will do the kind thing, which is walk the ball out to Maestri, just to give Murphy a bit of time to walk that one off.
Yeah, very subtle, but it does give him that amount of time to recover, and players do the same thing for umpires if they take a hit as well.
They will walk the ball out, they'll get a new ball, walk it out to the mound, and umpire you just see cleaning the plate, gives Murphy just a fraction more time. Johnson, the count will remain at 1 ball and 2 strikes. No, in fact, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Scoreboard on our screen is correct. I will be working off that. as a swing and a miss on a breaking pitch from Maestri will sit Kaleo Johnson down on strikes.
That was pure finesse. He knew what he was going to do. He knew the confusing pitch he could put over the plate. And that was just finesse. That was pretty to watch.
Maestri so far this season started in 5 games, has thrown 29 innings with an ERA of 2.1, only giving up 9 runs, only 7 of those earned.
Ooh-wee.
In his 29 innings to date. So
Nico Holsizer steps in for the Heat now.
he swings through the first pitch he sees for a strike.
Is he wearing blonde dreadlocks?
He's not wearing them, he has them. There he is. He's a dude, all right, Nico.
He's wearing them well.
Maestri to the plate. That's a called strike. 0-2 for Nico Holsizer. Had a chance to get down, as you were saying before the interviews. I was loitering around the dugouts a little bit earlier, running those interviews with the Blue Sox players, and just teeing up, having a chat to a few of the Perth Heat guys. And Nico seems like he's one of those he's real dudes.
He might be up for a chat one day during the series, you think?
Only 22 years of age and was with the Tampa Bay organisation. They're hit into the 5-6 hole. Nagope will get across but will have no play, knocks it down.
Good cover.
But deep into the 5-6 hole, he had no play anyhow. Holsizer was always going to get a board on that hit. And it'll go down as an infield hit, a hit to the shortstop. But may as well, for all intensive purposes, been a hit to left field. As Holsizer aboard now for the Heat.
Yep, just knocked down. Got through Eunice. Despite his diving attempt, it got underneath, stuck to the ground, as opposed to the one that the Perth shortstop had to take that jumped out of the ground over his head. That one stayed down on the ground a lot tighter.
That will bring to the plate. Catcher now for the Perth Heat, Roberto Alvarez. From Porto La Cruz in Venezuela is Roberto.
5'11".
Only 20 years of age, so still an extremely young man. And he is in the Rays organisation. He's with the Bowling Green Hot Rods.
That's a good name for it. The Bowling Green Hot Rods, wow. Yeah, went to see several Tampa Bay Rays games, or Tampa Rays games, back in the day. It seems so long ago now. It's almost 20 years, I think.
It gets away, doesn't it?
Oh, no, it's not 20. It might be maybe 15 years, to be honest.
Time gets away these days, doesn't it?
Wow.
It flies. 0-2 pitch, low and outside. Alvarez hangs in there a little bit longer. Runner at first base, Nico Holsizer. There is one away, and the Perth Heat trailing by 3 in the early stages of Game 1. Here in the 4-game series, the Blue Sox and the Perth Heat from Blacktown International Sports Park. Swing and a miss from Alvarez, and he will be the second strikeout victim of the inning for Maestri.
Wow.
That will bring designated hitter Alex Hall to the plate.
Good pitch. 8th in the lineup, Alex Hall.
Batting 200 on the season. Has launched 1 out so far this season. Bats left-handed. Seeing whether he can do something to keep this inning alive for the Perth Heat. In for a called strike. Maestri looks like he's on song tonight early, doesn't he, Harrow? He just looks like he's got control of those pitches. Well, looks like he's comfortable on that mound.
Yeah. Just finding a rhythm in there. Once he gets into that rhythm, he's hard to stop.
He's getting ahead of the hitters, which is always a good thing. This one is chopped towards third base. Going to be a real tough play for Eunice. He'll have no play at all. He'll have to eat it on the infield diamond.
Yeah.
And that'll be 2 infield hits in the inning for the Perth Heat. Holsizer advances to second base. Alex Hall aboard courtesy of that infield hit to Jacob Eunice, the third baseman.
2 on but 2 out here in the top of the second inning. And striding to the plate, 9th in the lineup, is the third baseman, Jess Williams.
So Williams another to bat left-handed against Maestri. First pitch again in there for a called strike. He's done that well so far tonight. I know we're only into the second inning, but getting ahead of the batters and giving yourself the options once you get ahead of the batters is crucial for a starting pitcher. especially one that wants to go deep into the games. And Maestry's doing that well tonight so far. Breaking pitch just misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Listed as a shortstop, also 20 years of age.
Maestry checks his runner, comes to the plate, misses low again. 2 balls, 1 strike. One-two pitch. Sorry, 2-1 pitch.
Down on the dirt.
Missed.
Gets him swinging. A local over there in Perth, Western Australia.
Two pitch on its way from Maestry, misses inside. You've got to be very careful of those inside corners here at Blacktown. You hear us say it very often that the inside corner here at Blacktown is a deadly corner for hitters. It gets called a lot more than inside corners around the rest of the country. 2-2 pitch, swung on and down on strikes will go Williams. So 3 strikeouts for the inning for Alessandro Maestry. And halfway through the second inning, the Blue Sox will retain their lead. It will be 3-0. The Blue Sox over the Heat as we head to the home half of the second inning.
And Design Choice brings every space to life with a design solution that is conceptually beautiful, practical, cost-effective and durable for even the toughest commercial environments. Working with clients and the furniture industry for 20 years, you can rely on their knowledge and high-quality items. The Design Choice team know that selecting the right piece of furniture can be the difference between becoming just another restaurant and becoming the new destination hotspot. To see some of their creative designs, head to designchoice.net.au. That's designchoice.net.au. Design Choice are proud sponsors of your Sydney Blue Sox.
Yes, that they are, Harrow. They're a good company. Have a look at their website. Wonderful different things that they can do for your areas.
I've had a look at it, Cam. There's some designs on there that I reckon I could use in a little business I've got on the side. And they are simply spectacular. They can transform basically an empty warehouse, empty retail shop, whatever, into something spectacular. And on our screen there you can see the Blue Sox logo, but more importantly on the left you can see a bunch of kids out there having a lot of fun with a funky fill.
I can tell you one of those junior teams is Blue Sox managers junior team, Shane Barclay's junior team from Belmont up there on the central coast of New South Wales. It's where Blue Sox manager Shane Barclay played all his junior baseball. And they were invited down for this series to be the Bartercard Barter Buddies.
Bartercard Buddies, and they're having a bit of fun out there.
Funky Phil certainly knows how to entertain them.
When I was down there getting a bottle of water not so long ago before the game, he had about 8 kids around him and he was just showing the water balloons and how they work. They were all gathered around. What they didn't understand is we were standing under a concrete grandstand with a ceiling about 9 feet above where the kids were, and he said, look, this is how it works. See this balloon? He threw it straight up into the concrete and splashed all of them.
He threatened, I was down there talking to the Perth guys, and as I came out he was filling them up and he threatened to throw one at me. I said, don't you dare, I'm bigger than you, Phil, I'll pick you up and snap you like a twig. He backed off, thankfully. Jack Murphy to lead things off for the Blue Sox, bottom of the second. Very quickly falls behind 0-2 on the first 2 pitches from Dylan Unsworth. Third pitch is 3 swings and Murphy down on 3. Simple as you like. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye, Jack Murphy.
Wow.
Unsworth starting off with a strikeout of Murphy. His second strikeout in a row. Second of the night.
Unsworth trying to block things out here. Forget the first inning, go to the second. Starts with a strikeout. Very strong start. And that brings Michael Campbell, centre fielder.
Not much he could do because really, in the scheme of things, depending on how the hit to Rob Glendenning was scored, pretty much maybe 1 earned run at the best.
Yeah.
There was an error by Cosmer on the what would be the fielder's choice, the error to Moe and Aroa.
Yeah.
And that drove in the first run, but that would have only been the second out anyhow. And then you had the error or the hit, depending on how you want to look at it, to Glendenning.
Yeah. So in the first inning, what you've said is Unsworth did all the right things. He got ground balls, and plenty of them.
Certainly, he put the ball in play, which is all you can ask from your pitcher. Unfortunately, Perth Heat got a little bit of bad luck, a couple of bad kicks, and find themselves behind 3-0. And Michael Campbell into the batter's box now. Campbell playing centre field now for the Blue Sox. They've had a little bit of an outfield rotational swap. Michael Krause played the first few series at centre field. He's gone out to right field. Michael Campbell was playing in right field. He's gone into centre field. So a little bit of a shift around there for the Blue Sox. Unsworth to the plate. Just misses up and out. Out now to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Michael Campbell. Unsworth ahead of the count now. Let's see what he throws. He tries to go fastball. It's driven straight at third baseman Williams. He had to backtrack but got a friendly hop and then makes a wonderful throw across the diamond to Johnson for what ended up being a relatively comfortable 5-3. But he had to make a decision quickly. It was line driven towards him. Do I go forward and try and catch it, or do I back off and hope for a friendly hop? He decided to back off. He did get that friendly hop and made a nice throw.
So we go back to the top of the order for the Sox. Just a reminder to spread the word about Blue Sox TV on YouTube. Tell friends and family. Spread the word however you do it.
First pitch from Jacob Eunice, chopped onto his foot for a foul.
The more viewers, the better.
A massive hello to a couple of people over in the West following us that have helped us out. They send notes, and there are a couple of good men over there. They do a good job over at Perth from time to time. Of course, we've got Paul Morgan, who does a wonderful job on the Heat coverage.
Yep.
And, of course, Dan Vaughan, who I don't think is back in the country as yet. If you are, Dan, please just send us a message to say so. But sending us through notes and stuff, it's always glad to have people that know a little bit more about the home teams sending us through some stuff to help us with our coverage.
Terrific.
We really appreciate the fact that we're sort of working into a bit of a brotherhood of commentary around the country, trying to help each other out where possible. Great to have them as allies, not enemies. Eunice quickly behind 0-2. That one is inside. Almost wore a second one there, Jacob.
Up a little bit.
He got hit in the first innings to lead off the game. Just stretching things out, taking his time. Breaking pitch is chopped at the plate. It's going to be a play for Alvarez to have to make, and he will make it comfortably.
Wow.
It was chopped down onto home plate. And don't forget, home plate is in play. It then bounced up onto the dirt in front of home plate. Alvarez had to scoot around from the plate, make the play. So one of those slightly rare 2 to 3 plays. You don't see a lot of them in the scorebook. Eunice, the third out here in the bottom of the second. And we are done through 2 completed innings. It is the Blue Sox 3, the Perth Heat yet to score.
Are you struggling with the rising cost of power? You are not alone. Over 2 million Australian homes have now installed solar. The average size solar system can save you around $500 a quarter, add value to your home and reduce your carbon footprint. SolarAy is Australia's largest independent solar and storage installer, located right here in Blacktown. Talk to the team at SolarAy to find out if solar is right for you. Visit solaray.com.au/Blue Sox today. SolarAy Energy, proud sponsors of your Sydney Blue Sox.
And back here at Blue Sox Stadium, where the Blue Sox lead the Perth Heat 3-0, only courtesy of a, what might be called an error and a really bad kick for Robbie Glendenning. That's been the difference between the two teams at the moment. Maestri working well through his 2 innings. It's faced 9 hitters through 2 innings, and Unsworth 10 through those 2 innings. So we settle in for the top of the third. Back to the top of the lineup for the Perth Heat. So Kennelly, Cosma and Kesar due up for the Perth Heat.
That's right, Cam, and Kennelly just takes a couple of practice swings there, and the warm-up has been completed by Maestri on the mound for Sydney. Murphy has his throw over, infield is set, outfield's ready. Just Krause heading out to his position, nice and deep in right field side. And Kennelly steps in now to his office, and Maestri will work his magic from the hill. Misses outside. Probably a little high as well, out of the zone. The crowd a buzz at the moment on this fantastic Friday evening. Swing and a miss brings up a strike.
Kennelly a little bit quiet last week against the Adelaide Giants. Only went 3 for 14, which is a little bit unusual for Tim.
Very unusual, as the leadoff especially.
Batting 2-3-2 on the season.
Pops one foul over the first base hillside where the crowd gather. A lot of the kids out there. But a very comfortable temperature out here tonight. It's a great evening for baseball. The lights just settling in now. And sky still has a little blue in it as the sun sets over the Great Dividing Range to the west of us. And missing outside and low there from Maestri that time. Lead off at the plate again. And Sydney leading this game 3-0. He rips one and lifts it out to deep centre field. Going back on it, Michael Campbell has those ones for breakfast. Takes it on the sky, out of the sky, about 10 feet in from the warning track in a very deep 400-foot centre field here from Blue Sox Stadium. So Kennelly, the lead off, out on a fly ball to position 8. Centre field, 1 up, 1 down. That takes us to the Perth second baseman now, and second in the batting lineup, Pete Cosmar. Cosmar grounded out to shortstop in his first appearance. So the shot coming to you from centre field there, straight in towards home plate. Maestri tries the inside edge but leaves it high and away.
Yeah, Cosma hit a home run last week. Another couple of RBIs to go along with that one in a 4 for 17 performance against the Giants.
So in a good spot, drives one down. It's a hopper to Eunice at third base. Third base, Eunice gets it across to Moen Aroa at first, and Cosmar charges up the line, but not until after the ball gets there. He's out on a 5-3. Ground ball to third base. The Blue Sox go 2 up, 2 down in the top of the third inning.
Blue Sox fans would have had their heart in their mouth a little bit when Jacob Eunice charges it like that last week against the Tuatara. Unfortunately for Jacob, we saw him throw a few balls away when he was on the full run like that. But not going to happen tonight in game 300. Right on the money.
Jordan Cassar steps in for the heat now and takes a fastball on the outside edge of the left-hander. 2 out, top of the third. Perth with their third batter in the lineup. Took a swing throw on that one. Called on the swing even though he tried to hold it back. Certainly went through a long way with that bat head.
It really is just whether the umpires believe you're attempting to hit the ball. That is all it is. It's nothing to do with how far the bat head travels or whether it goes past the plate, anything like that. Just in the umpire's opinion, were you trying to hit the baseball?
Yeah, certainly looked like it from my position. I'm way out of position. Maestri comes to the plate again, rings him up right in the bottom of the zone across the top of the knees, and Cassar goes down looking. A big KC for the third out there for the Blue Sox and Alex Maestri. So 3 up, 3 down the Perth heat. Halfway through the top of the third innings. It's the Blue Sox leading the heat by 3-0.
Lush Greenery is your comprehensive commercial supplier for all your artificial greenery requirements. From concept to completion, they are there every step of the way to make sure your garden area or interior atrium is looking amazing. Lush Greenery covers your interior or exterior designs from a range of barn doors to green walls, from planter boxes to climbing vines and so much more. Just to see some samples of the spectacular green walls and for more information, head to lushgreenery.com.au. Lush Greenery are proud sponsors of your Sydney Blue Sox.
They certainly are, Cam, and it's another website if you go and explore it. Gee, it's very, very interesting the sorts of creativity these people have to install in your interior or exterior as far as greenery goes. And if you want some of that stuff, especially the way people live in apartments and complexes these days, you can't always get the right sort of water and sunshine to grow things, but they do a terrific job, Lush Greenery, and it is really interesting looking through their website and you think, wow, how do they do that?
Well, it was actually in a hotel establishment for all the right reasons in the not too recent past that was actually done by Lush Greenery, all of the interior of the pub. And I'll tell you what, the little atrium area they had where you could go and sit, it was wasn't a smoking area, but it was an outdoor area of sorts, and it had like a little fountain in the middle, and it was all done by Lush. It was a superb place to just to sit, have a quiet beer and a chat with friends, and a place for catch-up. So they do some wonderful work.
Very convivial. We go to the bottom of the third inning, I should say. And the lead-off for the Sox is the second batter in their lineup, Gift and Gopay. Gopay with that set of wheels scored the first run of the game after getting on with a fielder's choice and made the best of it. Takes the first pitch from a fastball strike outside edge, and as he does, has a little conversation with his plate umpire just to make sure he's onside with him. Nice pitch from Unsworth though. That one fouled off, certainly in the zone. Goes straight over the top of my head in the commentary box, but over the roof of the grandstand. So Dylan Unsworth, tall, imposing pitcher, a very strong-looking guy on the hill for Perth Heat. Puts one in the zone and Gopay meets it, drives it out to right field, and deep enough right field, but taken by Jordan Cassar out there on the right side. Again, very deep towards the warning track, a little bit short of the warning track, but Cassar is so tall he was able to reach up high and get that one out of the sky. No problem whatsoever.
But again, Harrow, it travelled on the breeze. You go to that side of the field tonight, that is the way the wind is blowing. Anybody that knows the setup of Blacktown International Sports Park, it is blowing from the beer garden, the Jason Pospisil Memorial Beer Garden, out to right field. And so basically third base out to right field. So if you can get it out that direction, as Ngopay did, it will travel on the breeze for you like that one did. But Jordan Cassar, good enough to be able to run it down.
The first out on a right field fly ball. And now at the plate, Andy Burns makes a swing and a miss at that sent pitch. So Burns behind 0-2 now. Plate umpire Ben Nash giving nice clear signals there tonight. The 0-2 pitch, high and out of the zone. Leaving that one up. You wouldn't expect him to come into the meat of the zone. It's 1-2 now. Another one out, trying to tempt Burns to take a swing on the outside edge low, but not to be. That squares the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. No scoreboard operating here this evening. A few gremlins in the system, apparently, we're told.
There's been quite a few technical issues up and around here today, so no scoreboard. We've got got everything running up this end, thankfully.
2-2 pitch now.
Oh, just missed downstairs. Looked all right from up here, didn't it? Looked okay from up here.
We're a long way up, though. Ben Nash is right on it. Full count pitch now for Unsworth to Burns. Here comes the 3-2. And a swing and a miss there from Burns as he puts a fastball straight through the heart of the zone.
Give a shout out to one of our YouTube chatters out there. Jim Crow needs a shout out for his son Alistair, who's a lefty pitcher for the Alkimos Titans.
Oh.
So a shout out there to Jim and to your son Alistair.
Okay. Alkimos Titans. Wonder what part of town that's in.
I will find out for you.
Monaroa at the plate. Takes a big swing and a miss. Drops to one knee. Big, strong lefty is Boss Monaroa. But Dylan Unsworth gets him off balance. Fastball inside missing. That would be, I would make it a 1-1 with 2 pitches to Monaroa thus far, with 2 out here, bottom of the third innings from Blue Sox Stadium. Yeah, fastball, just across the knees. Bottom of the zone. Nice location there from Unsworth from the Perth Heat. There's a big shift on here for the big fella. Fouls one off. Got Jess Williams across in the shortstop position, and he's the third baseman. Shortstop Robbie Glendinning is across in second base position. Second baseman Pete Cosmar in a shallow right field.
Alkimos is about 40 k's northwest of Perth. Harrow?
Is it really? Well, it must be a lovely place. And the sun's still shining over there. And he gets him swinging. Maonaroa goes down on a big K2. So Unsworth comes back with 2 strikeouts and a fly ball out to right field. But in the bottom of the third inning, it is the Blue Sox this time that go 3 up and 3 down. After 3 completed from Blue Sox Stadium, it is the Sox leading the Heat by 3 runs to 0.
In 1928, Petrus Cornelis Nicholas Middendorp founded his business, Middendorp Electric Goods Supply Company, selling imported light globes, vacuum cleaners and other electrical products. Business began booming, so Petrus and his sons opened the first Middendorp branch in a converted church on La Trobe Street in Melbourne in 1956. This was the first of many branches that would eventually spread across the country, trading as Middies in its signature pink colour.
Back here at Blue Sox Stadium, where the Blue Sox lead at 3-0 over the Perth Heat. I'm going to give the Perth Heat fans a chance here, Harrow. They're now up to innings number 25 in a row without scoring a run.
Oh, Cam. Oh.
They went 2 whole games against the Adelaide Giants, plus a few innings in the game previous to that.
All right.
And now 3 innings here in Sydney without scoring a run. So the curse of the commentator from a Blue Sox point of view says that the Perth Heat will score a brace here.
Of course.
In the top of the 4th.
Because you've just opened the door.
I have opened the door. I wanted to give them some sort of chance, Harry. You know
well,
what
it's up
like.
to the Heat to kick that door in now.
That's exactly right. And due up for the Heat will be Glendinning, Johnson and Holsizer.
All right, well, let's see what Robbie Glendinning, the shortstop for the Heat, can do. Can he get that little crack in the door open a little bit wider for the Perth Heat fans?
Noel Dodds wants a shout out too. I'll get one to hit your son in a moment, Noel.
Well,
this one's dropped foul. Perfect opportunity now. Finlay from the Mingara Rebels, which is Michael Campbell's junior team apparently.
Okay.
There you go, Noel. A shout out for Finlay Dodds.
I wonder if they just call him Finn.
I would imagine they
Good
probably
chance.
do.
Good chance.
So top of the 4th, the Blue Sox lead the Heat 3-0.
And is it Brooke Knight coaching third base, Cam?
He usually does. That looks like Brooke down there.
He's got that yellow warm-up top on.
You want to get your eyes checked?
Oh, sorry, did I say yellow? Well, it should be. I was looking at Perth Heat's colours, wasn't it? It's bright red. We won't have a shot of third base for just a moment, please, gents. Yeah, well, that's not going to air. It could be yellow as long as nobody sees it. It's better than what I did last series. So Mastery on the hill there, pitching to Robbie Glendinning. Shortstop for the Heat, fouls another one off into the back net. So we've been told from the scorer's box that it's a full count now. We drifted slightly into a little another situation.
We've got our own scorers there, Harry.
Oh, it is up there now.
Yep, we've got our own scorers keeping track over there.
Score bug. Full count pitch. Leaves it outside, so that walks Glendinning. So Perth get a runner on with a base on balls. And that might be the first one of the game, I think, apart from the hit by pitch. But first, a genuine base on 4 balls for the game. Robbie Glendinning gets on for the Perth Heat off the pitching of Alex Maestri.
Glendinning, 1 stolen base and 1 caught stealing so far this season. So 50-50. Be a little bit careful out there.
50-50 call on this one. Kaleo Johnson at the plate now. The ball left outside low by the number 91 on the hill for the Blue Sox. An honesty pick-off attempt there. Mastery had seen Glendinning wandering off first base just a little bit. Thought he might catch him unawares. Oh, fouled off, just off the tip of the bat there for Johnson. Good crowd in this Friday afternoon. It is school holidays, work holidays, after the Christmas Day, Boxing Day public holidays here in Australia. That leaves Friday for people to take an annual leave day, and they end up with something like a six or 8 day break eventually with public holidays. This one, a blooper. It goes in between centre field and left field, and he just didn't get all of it, but enough to lift it over there into that triangle where nobody could get to it.
Might have broken his bat on it, Harrow. It jammed in on his hands, and it was just a little flare into shallow centre left.
Just made a thud.
Nagope was no chance of getting to it. Campbell was no chance of getting to it. And they're testing the bat down there in the dugout. I don't know if that one will see any more action tonight.
No, eventually Campbell did get to it for a single to centre field, number 8. So Glendinning moves to second base on that hit. And at first base, Kaleo Johnson stands safely.
Told you Perth would score a run in this inning.
Well, you set it up for them, Cam.
I mentioned the stat. Brought them right back into the game.
Adam Dobb might have a word with you.
Fire me. It's been a pleasure.
It's a long way from over yet, Cam. Nico Holsizer at the plate now. Left fielder for the Heat this evening. 2 runners on. Nobody out. Top of the 4th inning. Perth on the attack. Holsizer put a single through shortstop last time. Everybody tuned down out there. Don't forget to contact us. Let us know which team you're supporting, no matter which team it is around Australia, and who your favourite players might be. Are you from Perth, Western Australia? Are you from another state other than New South Wales or Western Australia? Just having a little look in while you're live at another game somewhere. Holsizer waits the next pitch and gets a nice strike on a fastball through the zone. 2-2 count now on Holsizer, which I'm sure you can all see. Top of the 4th inning. Runners get checked back by Mastery. Oh, fouls that one off. And that was up the handle of the bat there on Holsizer. Holsizer is the 20-year-old from born in Mountain, Pennsylvania.
Yep, picked up by the Dodgers.
Down on strikes. That brings up the first out here in the top of the 4th inning for the Heat. Gets rung up on that one. Another strike out there for Ali Mastery. Roberto Alvarez steps in now for the Heat, the catcher tonight.
Those playing commentary country bingo, mark off Sweden on your scorecard. Hello to Jacob over there from a snowy Leksand, Sweden.
Wonderful. Excellent. It'll be nice and icy there for Christmas.
And we can mark Sweden off our places that the broadcast has been seen, Harrow.
Reaches all corners of the world. Oh, swing and a miss there from Alvarez. Crowd getting into it. Ground announcer and music maestro doing a terrific job keeping the crowd activated tonight. Foul.
Off the foot. I believe it was off the foot. He looked like he wanted to run at the end, didn't he?
It wasn't called by the plate umpire. Jack Murphy woke up to that and charged up the line looking to retrieve that one.
He was trying to pick it up in fair territory because Alvarez was just walking around behind home plate. He might have been able to get a double play. The runners that weren't going either, he would have got a throw at third base easily, and then they would have picked up a double play easily.
Absolutely. Interesting. Ben Nash was there. He saw everything that happened. Might have just come off the plate rather than the batter's leg or foot. Alvarez steps back in for the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on that one, and he goes down on that. K2. So Perth second out. The catcher, Roberto Alvarez, goes down, swinging at that one. So 2 strikeouts for Mastry from the Blue Sox. And that brings to the plate, as you can see, the number 10, Alex Hall. Hall, the designated hitter for the Heat tonight. Top of the 4th inning, 2 out, 2 runners on. Sydney still have a bit of work to do as Mastry leaves that one high and wide. Nice and steady in his approach, checking the runners. Fastball outside as well. Gift and go play it. Shortstop there, just giving Mastry a few messages, talking to his infielders, working out how they're going to defend this to get the 3rd out. Called strike on Hall there. Two on, 2 out. Top of the 4th inning. Fouled off into the Blue Sox dugout.
A few more shout-outs. One from Marcel, who's in the Netherlands. So there's another country you can tick off. Getting close to bingo.
Nice.
And a shout-out to Henry Lewis from the Cronulla Sharks.
Okay, that's hometown. Is there anybody in London? Somebody in the UK, or Wales or Ireland? And there he goes swinging. Alex Hall goes down with a big K2, and that brings up the 3rd out in the top of the 4th inning. And it is the Perth Heat. No runs in the top of the 4th, and halfway through 4, it's still Sydney Blue Sox leading the Perth Heat by 3 runs to 0.
And don't forget, if you want to contact us up here in the commentary box, we'd love to have you as part of the broadcast. You can send us an SMS if you wish at 0412 203 068. So don't be shy, just send us an SMS, whack your name and where you're calling from or where you're sending the message from. We'd love to hear from you. Or you can send us a tweet. The Twitter handle is at Blue Sox TV, all one word, Blue Sox TV. Send us a tweet or just jump on YouTube if you're on there on the chat. Just sign into the chat and send us a message through the YouTube chat. We can see it on there. We can say hello. So we'd love to have you as part of the broadcast and answer any questions and maybe even hopefully be able to give you a shout out or say hello no matter where you're from. And if you want, check out these 2 teams' websites. It's sydneybluesox.com.au or perthheat.com.au. Check out all the merchandise, all the great presents, all the wonderful things that you can get from either of these 2 teams, whoever you happen to be supporting. There's wonderful late Christmas presents or early birthday presents you can pick up. And they would love to be able to help you out in some way, shape or form. There's some game-worn jerseys that they are auctioning off. Plenty of stuff for the baseball lover. 10th anniversary baseballs for each club. I've seen those around. As we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, the due-ups for the Sydney Blue Sox, Michael Krause, Trent D'Antonio and Alex Howe. Hello to Kevin Edmonds. Needs a shout out, so we've given him a shout out, and one for Ryan Love. Ryan loves curry. So Ryan, yes, you've got your shout out as well. And Austin from California, great to have you aboard, even though you sort of only fell across the broadcast. Bottom of the 4th inning, ready to roll, and a swing and a miss from Michael Krause to start things off. Unsworth still dealing for the Perth Heat at the moment. Has been pretty good, Unsworth. Has retired 7 in a row, and it's only an error and a bad too hot to handle hop at shortstop that has resulted in him and the Perth Heat being behind 3-0 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Dylan Unsworth back to work again, just misses high on Krause. The count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Breaking pitch is swung on and rings up Michael Krause. That is the 3rd strikeout in a row for Dylan Unsworth. And the 8th batter retired in order for the Perth Heat. So slowly but surely working their way back into this. As Trent D'Antonio shows bunt, drops it down the third base line, but it'll trickle foul and out of play. D'Antonio will come back. As we said, having his struggles with the bat this season, Trent D'Antonio batting 137 coming into this game. And that is a rather on the low side for Trent. Career-wise, I haven't got the career stats open in front of me at the moment, but he's a career about 250, 260 hitter generally. So having a pretty ordinary season at the moment, but he'll turn it around. That's the sort of baseball player that he is. Takes one low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike now on him. This pitch just misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. And to answer your question, Austin, the ABL sits at around about a AA standard of American baseball. The good games, obviously, they drive up towards AAA. But generally, it's around about a AA standard of baseball that the ABL sits at. There are some players that have played in the major leagues that are playing here. Gift Nagope for Sydney, Andy Burns for Sydney. Have both experienced some major league baseball.
And Cam, apart from the ones that are going to, D'Antonio heads up the line to first.
He leads the ABL career for walks.
Oh, he knows how to get on base.
So adds another one to the tally and heads up to first base, which will bring Alex Howe to the plate.
Doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you get there. And that's why he did hold down the leadoff position for a very long time.
It's only this season he hasn't been because he's been in a bit of a slump.
Yep.
So he's working his way out of that, and when he gets himself back towards that 200 mark, I'm sure manager Shane Barclay will slot him straight back at the top of the order.
And being down where he is now, it's a good spot to be. It's a confidence builder, just as that walk there was.
Bill Morgan has asked us, who is the greatest Australian baseball player of all time? Wow, Bill, way to throw us a curly one. I would think that you would get a fair few arguments one way or another, but I think the majority of people, I reckon 75% of the people you would ask would say that the player would have to be Dave Nielsen.
Well,
he's the only Australian to ever play in an MLB All-Star game.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's been a few, though.
There have been a few very good, in fact, great Australian players. Graham Lloyd has 2 World Series rings.
And
it's very hard to judge them as opposed to hitters versus pitchers versus...
Well, we're talking pitchers versus catcher, for example.
Well, even
Nielsen was a catcher.
Lionel Harris is one of the best local players to ever play the game of baseball. But he never actually went to America and plied his trade over there, so how do you rate him on a world stage?
Yeah, exactly. And,
But in terms of Australians that have gone to America to ply their trade, really for me it would come down to Dave Nielsen and Graham Lloyd for me.
Look at them all. Yeah, then you got your Moylans.
Plenty. Grant Balfour, he had a great career for himself.
Yeah, there's a list as
Liam
long as
Hendricks still playing over there, still eking out a good career for himself.
Craig Shipley, San Diego, among others. But certainly another one I've had a privilege to see play in the USA, Craig Shipley playing for San Diego.
Correct. So Bill,
different positions, pitching, catching,
I would go with Dave Nielsen purely and simply because he got to the level where he was in the elite of the MLB. He got invited to an all-star game as a positional player, which is very difficult to do for anybody, let alone an Australian.
It's Alex Howe at the plate now for the Sox, as you can see, with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning and Trent D'Antonio standing at first base.
And yes, Dave did do his career with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yep.
So gave up a professional contract in 2000. Well, in 1999, his contract was due for renewal with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yep.
He chose not to renew his contract and lead Australia into the Olympics in 2000.
And that was a tricky time back then with MLB and Olympic commitments. MLB would not release players
Correct.
to play for their country.
They weren't allowed to play in the Olympics if you had a major league contract.
Oh, Howe lifts that one into centre field, but there's a man out there by the name of Tim Kennelly, and he makes no mistake with those. It was high enough.
Yeah, never does make any mistakes with fly balls.
Kennelly just settled underneath that one. Got there 100%, and he had all day to wait for it to drop down into his glove. Good positional play, Alex Howe lifting that one a little bit too high with a fly ball to centre field, position 8. That brings up the second out here on the Blue Sox in the bottom of the 4th. And now the crowd start the Murphy chant. That's the big slow chant. You may hear it in the background, I'm not sure, but we can certainly hear it in our broadcast box.
A shout out to DeSinkers and Kurt Eden, Nathan Brammer, all on board, sending us through tweets. Kurt asking what the 2 stands for in K2. That's the position, Kurt. Catcher is position 2. So strike out to position 2, pretty much. Runner goes.
Kurt. Runner goes, and
Close.
he's out at
Absolute
second
toast.
base
Yeah,
easily.
not even close.
It took a while, but Trent D'Antonio slid in there. Probably got tagged out by at least half a metre, half a yard, something like that. And the umpire out there, Riley Barrington, had a good look at it, had a chat to Trent, waited for him to stand up and look at him, and he made the call nice and clearly. And
Do have
no
to make
dispute.
a short correction. I forgot that Liam Hendricks was in fact picked this season for the MLB All-Star game as a relief pitcher.
Yes, yeah,
So
good point.
that pushes his case a little bit more too.
So Murphy will come back here after being left in the batter's box in the bottom of the 4th inning. So we'll start the bottom of the 5th through Jack Murphy. And in the scorebook, the 4th innings looks 3 up, 3 down for the Sydney Blue Sox. No addition to the scoreline. So after 4 completed here at Blue Sox Stadium, it's the Blue Sox 3 leading the Perth Heat 0.
Brett International Sports is a manufacturer, distributor and supplier of the finest baseball equipment. Endorsed by the Brett family and led by Major League Baseball Hall of Famer George Brett. Founded in 1999, Brett International Sports is more than just a family business. It's a company dedicated to providing baseball and softball enthusiasts of all ages and skill levels easy access to premium baseball and softball equipment at affordable prices. The Brett family's many years of professional baseball experience, coupled together with world-class product development teams, ensure that every Brett product developed and sold around the world is carefully crafted by the best field experts possible and is held to the highest possible level of quality and consistency. Check out their massive range online at brett-sports.com. Brett International Sports are proud sponsors and suppliers of the ABL.
They certainly are, and a nice addition to our broadcast as well, being able to mention Brett Sports, because a very important part of baseball in Australia. So we'll go to the top of the 5th innings, and 9th in the lineup for the Perth Heat, Jess Williams. So Williams steps in here now for the top of the 5th to lead off, and fastball left. He shaped a bunt, stayed there, and called a strike through the zone by plate umpire Ben Nash. Called on location. That one definitely a swing, a nice little curve there, very subtle little curve put in by Mastry. Ali Mastry doing the work there on the hill for the Sox. That one left down low by Mastry.
7 strikeouts through his 4 innings to date, Alex.
Wow.
Alessandro.
What's a massive effort. 3. Fly
Michael
ball
Krause is on
goes out there. Michael Krause comes in a couple of steps. Nice easy catch there out there for Krause. And the first out is Jess Williams on a fly ball to position 9 right field. 1 up or 1 down, and we go back to the top of the order and Tim Kennelly for the Heat.
Kennelly 1 for 2 tonight. He's had a single to left field and a fly to centre field. Takes the first pitch lowered inside from Maestri, for a ball. Good crowd in here tonight. Oh, ripped down the third base line. Good thing that was out of the reach of Brooke Knight.
Did he what?
Bounces off the tarpaulin down there and back into shallow left. So we'll just wait for Alex Howe to toss that one into the bullpen. Kennelly settles again for the 1-1 pitch, which is outside. 2-1. Kennelly, deep rip to left field. It's going to get down on the wall. It's going to hop into the bottom of the wall. It's at least a double for Kennelly. Rounds 2, and that'll do him. In with a stand-up double. Tim Kennelly doing what he does so well. We saw him rip one hard towards his coach at third base. This time he just leveled it up a little bit better. He just waited on it, got it off the barrel of the bat into deep left field. It short hopped the wall out there in left. Howe had a lot of ground to make up. And Kennelly strolls into second base with a double.
Lucky he stayed at 2 on that one. He hit it so deep and so hard, though. We saw that when he fouled that first one off through Brooke Knight's coach's box up the line. Gee, he got all of that and just changed his timing. So Perth with a runner in scoring position through Tim Kennelly. Stand-up double to position 7 in the scorebook. 1 out, 1 on in scoring position. And Pete Cosma at the plate now. Cosma leaves that next one alone for a ball. 2-0 the count.
Cosma 0 for 2 tonight. 2 ground outs, both to the left side of the diamond. Has a job to do. Needs to get Perth on the board here in the top of the 5th. Slow chopper. It's going to the right side of the diamond. It's going to be a tough play for Burns. He was a long way back. He went in time. Throws it away. Kennelly to the plate. They'll have a play at second base. Mo and Aroa and Nagope. They'll get him at second. Will they? No. He slides in under the tag at second. Kennelly scores on the wild throw.
Wow.
And Cosma will get in.
Wow.
On the wild throw, which I don't think was going to be in time anyhow, and then around and beats the slide in at second base.
Yeah, could not have got that out at first no matter what. Hold the ball and the run doesn't score. It's good after the fact though, isn't it?
Always good after the fact.
That's why we sit up here.
Burns had a lot of work to do at second base. He was deep and he was back towards the second base side holding Kennelly a little bit, and that slow chopper into the gap between first and second, it really went into no man's land. And as a result, it became a problem for the Sydney Blue Sox. Burns charged it and threw it away. Cosma then advanced to second. Kennelly was able to score, and the drought is broken for the Perth Heat.
And you're to blame.
7th inning.
You are to blame.
In 26 scoreless innings, finally the run comes to an end for the Heat. They have one on the board, and they are back in this. A runner at second. Only 1 out here, top of the 5th. Well, it had to end sometime, Harrow.
Yeah, that's good. Good, Cam, but you didn't have to wear it.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you're fine. Wow, what a turn of events there. A little momentum shift, that's all, but there are 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning on the Perth Heat. Jordan Cassar at the plate. Long, lanky left-hander. Oh, Brooke Knight's change into a red top, Cam.
This could score another run here out to Krause. They're going to hold him at third, though, on the base hit to right field.
Lucky they did. That was a good throw from Krause. Right into Jack Murphy at home plate.
And now runners at the corners with 1 away.
Top of 5, Murphy having... we'll look up the line at the bullpen, I think, but I can't see into the Sydney bullpen from here, Cam.
I can, and the only person up stretching at the moment, throwing lightly, is Todd Van Steensel.
Nothing too serious. Fouled off there by Robbie Glendenning at the plate now. Jordan Cassar at first, of course, and Cosma at third. They're the runners on the corners for the Heat. 1 run scored. Cosma held up on that last play, and Robbie Glendenning at the plate for the Perth Heat. So the tying run stands at first, with only 1 out. Top of 5. One left low that time by Mastry. Perth being very methodical here in this top of 5. Pick off attempt, a runner at third. And it's getting that stage of the game where we look at the 5th inning, 6th inning, pitching changes come out of the bullpen from both clubs. And what does that do to the offense? Pick off attempt again now.
Blue Sox need to be careful. They've given up some leads in the not too distant past.
And the run, we could suggest it was avoidable, but there is only 1 out. So we've got to take everything into account and be fair.
Well, it wouldn't have been because Jordan Cassar hit a base hit after the wild throws anyway.
Yeah,
So Kennelly would have scored anyhow.
Yep. Good call. And here's another one scored. That goes into left field and a long way short of where Alex Howe was. And none of the outfielders could have got that. That was a great hit there from Robbie Glendenning. It was between Campbell and Howe out the back of Gufdan Gopay. Nobody could have got to that. It was just a nice, neat line drive.
The Perth bats are waking up, Harrow. Look out.
Hitting to the holes.
It's about 6 o'clock Perth time. They've got to game time over there in the west. They don't usually play at sort of 4:30, so they weren't used to the early start.
So the run scores there. Pete Cosma, Perth now double their score and go to 2 runs.
That will prompt a pitching visit and visit to the mound from the Blue Sox pitching coach in Chris Oxspring. He will head out there. Chris had a very good career as well in America for a while there, and then over in the Asian leagues.
Of course, Oxspring comes out of Queensland originally. Good product. And when he did come back from, I think it was Japan for the first time, was it Korea for the first time, he came to Sydney. He came to live here and went and played locally with one of the state league clubs before joining up with the Blue Sox. So Jordan Cassar is standing at third base, Robbie Glendenning at first.
A real threat here for the Blue Sox. They led 3-0 early. It is now 3-2, but runners at the corners and only 1 away. Johnson in the batter's box. This might be a sac fly as it's lifted out into centre field. Campbell rounds it. They're going to try for the plate. The throw to the plate is going to be cut off by Murphy inside as the runner decides to tag up.
He was held
They're going
up.
to ask somebody to go to first, and they're going to appeal a play at first base here. Murphy's going to throw it up to first base. They're going to appeal the play, and the first base umpire up there tonight, which is Bobby Crawford, says no, he was back.
Yep.
And he tagged up long enough. The runner at first, Glendenning, tagged and waited on the throw to the plate from Campbell before he took off to second base. And Cassar from third, he took about 5 or 6 quick paces down the line like he wanted home plate and then whacked the brakes on and went back to third. So it will be a fly only for Kaleo Johnson to centre field
That
for
brings
the
up
second out.
Second out,
And
correct.
now runners at second and third with 2 out First pitch, line driven straight at Eunice, who plucks it like grapes off a vine.
Oh, wow. You got a smile about that one, Jacob Eunice.
300th game comes up with a lead-saving pluck on a line drive from Nico Holsizer. He ripped it straight at Jacob Eunice's right shoulder. He had to sort of lean back, glove it, because if that gets past him, it scores at least two. Well, it scores two, and then Holsizer, depending on how it bobbled around in the corner, would have found himself at second or third.
What a massive rip down the line. But Perth scored 2 runs. So halfway through the 5th innings here at Blue Sox Stadium, it's the Sydney Blue Sox 3 runs, leading the Perth Heat 2.
Bartercard is the operator of the world's largest trade exchange, where small businesses and medium-sized businesses can barter trade in many countries across a dynamic mix of industries. Bartercard has revolutionised the way its members do business, from attracting new customers to conserving cash and increasing profits. Bartercard's world-leading system enables members to enhance their businesses through a cashless marketplace. For more information, head to bartercard.com.au and check out all the options. Bartercard are proud sponsors of the Sydney Blue Sox.
That they are, Cam, and I'll tell you what, I make it through 5 innings that Perth have had 9 hits. 9 hits for 2 runs. And that's pretty massive, you know, getting 9 hits against the pitching of Alex Mastry. Ali Mastry is a really good pitcher, but they've only managed to get 2 runs produced out of that.
As I said, he's got 7 strikeouts himself through those 5 innings. So is throwing pretty well up on the mound there for the Blue Sox, but got himself into a bit of trouble in that innings. Managed to get out with the lead still intact. So he's done his 5 innings with the lead intact. Do they pull him out now whilst he's still got the win under his belt and go to their pen through whether it be Van Steensel or whether it be, I think Tyrell Harris might be up there loosening up as well. So interesting to see how the Blue Sox play it, but they will come to the bottom of the plate. Jack Murphy will resume where he left off. Michael Campbell and Jacob Eunice are the due-ups for the Sydney Blue Sox. Oh, Jim Crow needs another shout-out now. His sons are arguing. We've had a shout-out to one son. Now we've got a shout-out to the other one. Anders Crow needs a shout-out. So shout-out there to Anders for you, Jim.
Good.
So the Perth drought has been broken. It is game on here in game 1.
It's a one-run ball game.
Have a 1-run lead, bottom of the 5th underway.
As good as you can get. Left that one down low. Murphy stayed away from it. One count. Strike on the outside edge.
Might be 2-2.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Might have missed one of those, Cam.
I think the first one might have been a ball.
2-2 now, as you can see on our scoreboard on screen.
Little foul chop.
Certainly was. Sort of spun around on one leg, as you can see.
A couple of years back, Jack had to take an off-season due to some bad knees. Hasn't quite been the same in the batting box since. Batting 175 on the season coming into this game.
Oh, swing and a miss off that one. Goes down on strikes. Wow, that was a big swing. K2 for Jack Murphy. Lead off in this bottom of the 5th inning. Batting from the 8th slot. 1 up, 1 down. That brings to the plate Michael Campbell.
Michael Campbell grounded out his only at-bat this evening. Batting 2-2-2. Batting to Richie.
To the third base side. Opposite field for a left-hander.
He's now 15 at-bats without a hit, Michael Campbell. So he's having a little bit of a drought himself out there at the moment.
And we're in the 5th inning. It's only his 2nd appearance, so a pretty tight game is indicated there.
Went 0 for 8 against the Tuatara in just a couple of appearances over there last week.
They've certainly changed their lineup since last season.
They've done a fantastic job considering, I believe, though, just off the top of my head without looking at it, they were 1 and 8 to start the season. They're now, I think, 11 and 9.
They certainly are. We'll just go to that. I think you're
I'm pretty sure they were 1 and 8 and went to 11 and 9.
Correct,
yeah.
Yep.
So they've really gone on a burn in these last couple of series.
Halfway through the season, we start this weekend. We start the back end of the season, the last 10 weeks. That would be 5 weeks, Cam, wouldn't it? Good evening and welcome to all of those tuned in. You're listening to Big Cam Hickson.
Hello.
I'm Paul Harrow-Harradine. And we're here for Sports Broadcasting Australia and the Sydney Blue Sox on Blue Sox TV.
From the Blue Sox, a shout out to Sammy, who's in Boston.
Boston.
I'd say he's a fan of the Red Sox, but let's not presume anything.
If you want to contact us and you haven't got the contact details already, it is at Blue Sox TV, at Blue Sox TV on Twitter. If you would like to send an SMS from locally, the phone number is 0412 203 068. Tell us who you are, where you're from, what time of day it is, and who you're supporting. Campbell still at the plate now for the Sox. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off over the back of the third base grandstand.
Hello to Ryan's sister Sarah. So we've got to do a shout out for Sarah. Also got to do a shout out for Flea Fish, who is at Eglinton, which is just up from Alkimos.
Good on you, West Aussies.
So plenty of the Perth guys on there. A shout out for Luke in Augusta.
Is that near Sun City? Not Augusta. The other one's north of Perth.
They're trying to get through the shout outs. And one from the Dominican Republic.
You beauty.
Lasenzia.
Nice.
I think it is from the Dominican Republic. Apologies if I pronounced that incorrectly, but hello there in the Dominican Republic. We've got a couple of Dominican Republic players on the Perth Heat list. I will get them out for you in the not too distant future and let you know who they are.
No winter over there.
No winter
like
in the
Florida.
Dominican Republic.
Campbell's still at the plate. He's been there for a long time.
I think it might be
some
Jorge.
pitches out.
I will do my research properly, but it might be Jorge Perez.
He goes down on strikes, rung up on a called strike. Rung up by plate umpire Ben Nash. That was a long at-bat for Michael Campbell, but now
good
2
at-bat
up.
at this stage of the game too, but he's just another strikeout.
And 2 down. 2 strikeouts for Dylan Unsworth.
And 13 in a row retired by Unsworth and the Heat at the moment.
Who are? That's changed since the bottom of the first inning dramatically. Unsworth to Jacob Eunice. Eunice back to the top of the order for the Sox.
Relief pitcher Carlos Garcia for the Perth Heat. He is from Samana in the Dominican Republic. So you will see him. He did pitch last week for Perth in relief. So I imagine we will see him in relief some stage this week. Currently with the Charlotte Stone Crabs.
There you go. That's another fancy name. That would be Charlotte in Florida, Rays territory. In fact, I think Charlotte or Port Charlotte, somewhere around there, is the Rays spring training venue.
They're from Tampa, Florida. What do they need a spring training venue for? It's spring.
Oh, it's only just south of Tampa, let me tell you. It's not that far away.
It's spring all year round in Florida.
I call it a home away from home. Ground ball, shortstop. And it gets through Glendenning. Gets through Glendenning. And Eunice achieves first base. Hard hit ground ball. And it goes to, I think, left field. Or was it centre field?
Yeah,
Kennelly came in and retrieved it.
There's a hit in game 300 for Jacob Eunice. That's something he can take to the bank out of game 300.
Single to centre field for Jacob Eunice, keeping the inning going here for the Sox in the bottom of 5. Crowd getting rowdy in the background here as well. As I said, good crowd Friday night.
Typically at this time of year, the Blue Sox crowds really do swell. You see behind home plate's almost completely full.
It's looking good tonight.
A little bit off to the side there is a little bit empty off to the third base side of the hitters.
There's no food there.
The right as you see it. But big crowd in tonight. Another big crowd due in tomorrow night from the reports of the front office.
The food concession stands here are very good. There's been an addition in the break as well. Nice pizza wagon out there tonight. Ooh, he says.
It's no Widow's garlic bread, but it is a pizza. It is another pizza van.
Certainly is.
They might get a little bit of my money tomorrow night.
Gift and go pay at the plate. Only lifts one to left field, will go deep foul. Only just deep foul.
Not deep enough to get out of that on the breeze tonight.
Oh. How much was in that? 10 feet, Cam?
But it only went into the bullpen. It didn't clear the fence, so it wouldn't have been a home run anyway. It would have been down into play. But again, the breeze tonight blowing from third base to right field. So as you look at it at your screen, coming pretty much from the back right of the hitter out to right field to the left of your screen. Diagonally top right to bottom left. So Nagope hitting that sort of straight into the teeth of the breeze. Runner goes. Nagope hits a little bleeder into shallow right. It'll be in for a base hit. There'll be no play at all. Nagope will stand at first. Eunice will advance all the way around to third on the hit and run.
Wow.
And the Blue Sox pull another little trick out of their bag.
Wow. And Gope just got that chinker, as you call it, Cam. Dropped into no man's land as base players just went to their bag. And that was just there all on its own.
Yeah, the problem for the Heat was Pete Cosma broke towards second base as he saw Eunice get a jump on the pitcher, thinking there might have been a throw over or a play at second base on a tag. And as a result, the little bleeder just went into no man's land. Kaleo Johnson was holding Eunice on at first base. When Cosma broke to second base, there was a gap as wide as Sydney Heads, and the ball just managed to just plop itself into that gap. And no play at all for the Heat. Now the Blue Sox runners on the corner, but 2 out here in the bottom of the 5th. They lead at 3-2 as we've got a pitching visit, a mound visit, in fact, for the Perth Heat.
And Andy Burns waiting patiently at the plate. He will step in and he will be ready with runners on the corners. Base coaches for the Sox, Brendan Kingman and Brian Murphy. And while we're in this short break, there is a message coming in. Shout out from Peter Callum and Braden from Wyong Wildcats on the Central Coast. Good old Central Coast. Good club up there too. Callum is also a junior Central Coast Marlin rep player. So, of course, fellow Marlin Michael Campbell is a favourite. Good on you. Well done, boys. Peter, Callum and Braden from the Wyong Wildcats. Drove through there today on my way from Brisbane.
Bigger bat now for Andy Burns, major leaguer with the Toronto Blue Jays. Has re-signed with the Blue Jays organisation and has an invitation to spring training on the back of that re-signing earlier this season.
And well deserved.
Launches it. Can put a jolt into the ball, does with that one. Unfortunately, sends it about 25 degrees.
The shot that our viewers are looking at shows the tree, the foul pole. Well, the ball disappeared over the back of that tree.
Over the tree, went over the top of the tree.
The fence behind the foul pole, over the back of that as well.
It cleared the fence over the back there, but well fouled by Andy Burns. So Unsworth needs to be very, very careful going inside to Andy Burns.
Over the back of the grandstand, another one leaves the ground.
Just another strike. Burns finds himself behind now 1-2.
And you feel the momentum shift again from Perth to Sydney.
Very much so. It was with Sydney early, then it sort of levelled out as we went into a bit of an arm wrestle.
Yep.
As Unsworth retired 16 or 17 in a row, whatever it was. And the Blue Sox struggled. Nagope goes, but it'll make no difference. Burns will go down on strikes. It'll be 3 strikeouts in the innings. The Blue Sox will strand a pair. And we are done through 5 completed innings here at Blue Sox Stadium, where the Sydney Blue Sox lead the Perth Heat by 3 runs to 2.
Struggling with the rising cost of power? You are not alone. Over 2 million Australian homes have now installed solar. The average size solar system can save you around $500 a quarter, add value to your home and reduce your carbon footprint. SolarAy is Australia's largest independent solar and storage installer, located right here in Blacktown. Talk to the team at SolarAy to find out if solar is right for you. Visit solaray.com.au/Blue Sox today. SolarAy Energy, proud sponsors of your Sydney Blue Sox.
And back at Blue Sox Stadium, Alessandro Maestri still on the mound for the Blue Sox. Having a look up into the Blue Sox pen. And it is Todd Van Steensel and Matt Marksbury doing the warming up for the Blue Sox. Not much action in the Perth Heat pen at the moment. Just a few messages going up there now. Pitching coach heading up to deliver some messages up to the Perth Heat bullpen. So they're happy with the way Unsworth is going at the moment. And so the Perth Heat, Alvarez, Hall and Williams, the 7, 8 and 9 hitters, they are due up for the Perth Heat. And Roberto Alvarez almost strode to the plate with the donut still on the bat. He realised as he walked onto the dirt that he had the donut on the bat. And,
Just
and
the
Jack,
ultimate test.
Jack Murphy said something to him. He thought, I better go and take that off and
Do you want a
throw
coffee
that
with
back over
that?
there.
Do you want a coffee with that? Top of 6. Oh, straight down the first base line. Monroe could not get to it. He was wrong-footed as well. And a single to the right field side off the first pitch for Roberto Alvarez. So a single to 9. Wow, that came out of nothing. Just one pitch from Ali Maestri. And Perth all of a sudden have a runner on. Top of the 6th inning here at Blue Sox Stadium. That breeze turning a little bit, Cam.
It's just going across a little bit more. Maybe turning now from left field to right field.
That's a Perth DH, Alex Hall at the plate, fouling one off over the back of the Perth dugout.
Usual wind we get here at Blacktown International is from the south, whether it be the southeast or the southwest.
Yep.
At the moment we've got what would be described as probably a nor'easter blowing at the moment.
Nice fastball there from Maestri. He went through the bottom half of the zone. Hall awaits the next one.
Still a
The
very
0-2 pitch.
Still a very pleasant 24 degrees out here, though, in the west of Sydney.
Maestri comes fastball inside there, just missing. Just trying to back Hall away from the plate a little. Pops one up over third base. Eunice underneath it and does a good job in foul territory. Foul ball caught over third base in foul, and it was Connor Casey trying to get out of the way of Jacob Eunice there, running
sure
circles around him almost.
And that is going to be it for Alexandro Maestri for this evening as Blue Sox skipper Shane Barclay heads out to the mound. See him heading out there now. He's going to pat Alessandro on the back, or in fact Murphy's going to do the patting on the back. Shane Barclay is going to take the ball. He's going to thank him for his efforts, and that will be all she wrote for Alessandro Maestri tonight.
Good job through 5 innings plus
5
1
and
out.
1/3 innings. I will get the line up on Alec in a second.
Ali Maestri leaves the hill
Again, a few more of those gremlins creeping in. I know the stadium Wi-Fi is not really working out here, Harrow, but we're doing the best we can.
Yeah, a few refreshers going on here. And the 56 up there is Matt Marksbury on the hill.
So we'll go officially as I haven't got the pitch count as yet. We're waiting for that to update. But 5.1 inning pitch, 10 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 base on balls and 7 strikeouts for Alessandro Maestri for this evening.
All in all, a good outing for Maestri. And
they've gone to left-hander Matt Marksbury.
Yep.
We're hoping to have a chat with Matt Marksbury maybe tomorrow on Blue Sox TV. There's a fascinating tale to tell about the trials and tribulations of minor league baseball all the way to Major League Baseball, having made the majors with the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, okay. Birthplace Cincinnati, USA. Second name is Gates, Matthew Gates Marksbury. Let's see what this imposing figure of a pitcher can do now as he comes to the mound with 1 out, 1 runner on first in the form of Roberto Alvarez, and he will face Jess Williams at the plate.
Played major leagues in both 2015 and 2016 for the Braves.
Pretty handy.
Had a career ERA in the majors of a tick over 5 as a relief pitcher.
Okay, well here he is now. Relief pitcher for the Sydney Blue Sox and a pinch hitter. That is a number 25 on the Perth lineup.
Looking for our lineup sheet, which is under here. 25 is Ulrich.
Replacing Jess Williams.
Ulrich Barjarski.
Yep. That will bring him up another game. Number 25. Well, big swing and a miss on that one for Bajarski.
If Marksbury can find his best form, he hasn't shown his best form in the ABL at the moment, with an ERA a tick over 11. He would certainly be an asset to this Blue Sox team in the run to the Claxton Shield Final Series.
I had the pleasure of broadcasting of Australia a few years ago, the Australian Academy of Baseball, and Ulrich Bajarski was one of those players up there then as a young fella, still a young fella now, of course. And yeah, it was a pleasure to broadcast for those that squad of young up-and-coming Australian players. Yeah, I was right, still only 21 years old. What about his birthplace?
Runner goes to second, throws not in time.
Or is it? No, it's not. Does not get there.
Alvarez picks himself up a stolen base.
Take a guess.
His
first place of Ulrich Bajarski. East London, South Africa.
Another South African.
There you go.
There's a few of them in the game tonight. If Nagope, of course, on the Sydney side of things.
He's a good young man.
Dylan Unsworth, the starting pitcher.
Yep.
He was from Durban, South Africa.
Oh, rips that one down the left field side. Will go to the corner.
We're all tied.
Drives in the run of Roberto Alvarez and gets himself a stand-up double. He was good then, and he's good now.
Very smart change from Brooke Knight. Puts in a pinch hitter, and what does that pinch hitter do? He ties us up at 3s with a lovely rip down the left field line for a stand-up double and a big RBI for Ulrich Bajarski.
We've got a 3-3 ball game here at Blue Sox Stadium in the west of Sydney, Blacktown International Sports Park. A lovely evening for baseball. We might as well start the whole game again at 3-3.
And all of a sudden, Shane Barclay walks straight out to the mound to talk to Matt Marksbury.
Wow.
He's thrown 3 pitches.
Wow. That
might be it for him. He's done. He's going to take the ball off him and sit him. Yep.
Wow, he won't be
3
happy
pitches.
about
He was
that.
up to face 1 batter, and now
Ooh-wee.
he's been sat down, and Todd Van Steensel comes out of the bullpen.
Well. Gee whiz.
Well, that experiment didn't work.
Whoa, is all I can say. I'm lost for words.
Maybe they were expecting to go lefty, even though lefty on Josh Williams, but Brooke Knight said, I'll have none of that. I'll put the right-hander Brzarski up there to take on your left-hander.
Yep. 3-3. He's trying to protect something here. Barclay, of course. They've got to stop the Perth Heat attack. There's 1 out here, 1 run scored. A runner in scoring position. And we go back to the top of the order with Tim Kennelly. And TVS comes in. Well. Ooh-wee.
So that was a very short outing for Matt Marksbury, who will be responsible, of course, for the runner on second base. And of course, with the runner Alvarez crossing on the back of...
Did you notice I'm dumbfounded? I just don't know what to say.
On Alessandro Maestri, he will no longer be in line for the win because he was responsible for Roberto Alvarez. So Ale Maestri anyway, he will get a no result. And Unsworth, if the Perth Heat can find a way to take the lead at the moment, he will be in line for a win.
Wow, I'll tell you what, you said it at the start of the broadcast that this weekend is vital for both of these clubs. They're both sitting second on their respective competition ladders, the North, East and the Southwest. And it's going to be a tough day at the office for both managers.
So Todd Van Steensel with the knee-high socks. Likes to wear the high socks. Has finished his warm-up. He's ready to go.
And the beard.
And it doesn't get any easier for the Sydney Blue Sox. Runner on second base. Only 1 out. Tied at 3s. Tim Kennelly to the plate. 2 of 3 tonight.
His last appearance, a double to left field.
He has half the cycle, the easy half, the single and the double.
Fastball missing outside, as you can see. Three ball game, top of the 6th inning, only 1 out. Draws a swing and a miss from Kennelly.
And Steensel does have a quality fastball, can throw it in the mid-90s.
He only pulls that out at the right time as well. Has a certain skill of the way he mixes his pitches. Pitch selections are good. Works well with Jack Murphy. Look out. Straight off the face of the grandstand roof, which was the thud and the ooh-ah from the crowd. Function room has a lot of participants in it tonight as well, above the Perth dugout.
With the St Paul Saints. Last season in minor league baseball, Todd Van Steensel.
Fastball missing high and outside. Ooh-wee, a tight game at this time of night, where it's just gone 9:23 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. 7:30 start for this game. Of course, tomorrow night, Saturday, And down on strikes goes Kennelly. That's an important out for the Blue Sox and also for Todd Van Steensel. So now we go to Pete Cosma, the second baseman for the Perth Heat. Stepping in with 2 out and a runner in scoring position at second base in the form of Ulrich Bojarski.
Perth would dearly love to take the lead here in the top of the 6th inning.
And Sydney likewise would dearly like to shut them down.
They need to hang on, Sydney. It's been all Perth since the first inning. That one fouled off over the top of the grandstand. That'll end up in the Sydney Blue Sox merchandise booth. Harrow, great place to get to if you're coming out here to the ballpark.
Go in and see Shirley. She'll fit you out with something.
Take in your membership card for a nice, healthy discount. Plenty of stuff to buy in there.
The battle continues here.
And Steensel working that fastball very nicely so far. Blue Kennelly away with it, now has Cosma behind 0-2.
And Steensel, a picture of concentration. Fastball, must have just been a bit low.
Just low, yep. Has had a problem in the past, Todd, with holding runners because he's very deliberate.
Yep.
It's something he's worked on, and you will see with a runner on first has a very quick leg kick to the plate these days. When a runner's on second or third, you'll see this very deliberate high knee lift to the plate. Come back, it gets past.
Stays away.
This will bounce off second base and have no play, though. It will come to the plate.
And Gopay cannot find the handle. Wow, that was an awkward play. Van Steensel tried to reach and get it. Probably best that he didn't touch it.
Oh, he needed to get it. He needed to get it.
But then he was sort of falling the opposite way to where the ball was, and then the ball hit the base.
Hit second base.
Almost in the middle, and that it was covered by Ngopay and backed up by Burns, but it was just a hard one to grab.
To be honest, I don't think Ngopay had a play anyhow.
No.
He runs very well, does Pete Cosma, and I think he was going to be quite comfortably beat that out. So now Perth with runners at the corners and 2 away. Jordan Cassar to face Todd Van Steensel. Brooke Knight wants to have a chat. He's down the line. He's almost in the batter's box.
Hello.
He's almost in the right-hander's batter's box. Wants to have a chat with home plate umpire Ben Nash.
I wonder what he's asking.
Just the way he was looking at there, we don't get a look at it on the screen, unfortunately. He put his hands together as though he was intimating the pitcher coming to rest. So he's obviously asking about some sort of movement in the action of Todd Van Steensel as to whether he's actually coming to rest. Is he moving the ball in his mitt, which may constitute a balk if he doesn't do it on a regular basis?
And you know what? Even if he's not, it breaks the concentration and makes people think about other things.
Well, maybe it makes Todd think about things.
Correct.
If nothing else. And Van Steensel might think, oh, hang on, am I doing something different? Runner goes.
Gamesmanship.
Uncontested. Pete Cosma takes second base.
And the runner steals.
Maybe that was it. You whisper steal while I distract everybody.
It's an evil plot. It's an evil plot.
So now runners at second and third with 2 away. The game tied at 3s here in the top of the 6th.
Jordan Cassar at the plate. The runners can't go anywhere on that one. We'll throw that ball away, says Jack Murphy, back into the dugout because it just didn't work. It's a broken ball. So the tall left-hander Jordan Cassar steps in with 2 runners on. The game locked at 3-3 here at Blue Sox Stadium. It's the Blue Crew, Big Cam Hickson. I'm Paul Harrodine, bringing you all of the action here through the top of the 6th inning. Cassar cops that one, takes it on the chin, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
A big at-bat for both teams here. Cassar finds a base hit. Perth lead by 2. Van Siensel finds a strike. The Blue Sox get out of a jam.
Quite a jam it is. He lifts one, he goes high left field, going back.
There's a
Alex now
chance.
will not get to it. He has not got to it. It's bounced over the outfield fence in left field. It has bounced on the warning track and hopped way over the fence. Howe did not want to get to that. He could not get to it. Got to the warning track, couldn't get a good sight on it because he had to run so fast and so far with basically his back to the ball.
It'll score the 2 runs, though, Harrow, and that is the important thing for the Perth Heat fans. Jordan Cassar picks up RBI's 12 and 13 on the season, and the Perth Heat lead it 5-3 over the Blue Sox.
Wow, that's a big change in momentum.
The pitching woes of the Blue Sox continue.
And that's exactly what's happened here. Perth Heat charging here. They'll have all the momentum. And it will be interesting to see what they do with their pitching as well. So Robbie Glendenning at the plate now as he fouls that first pitch off for a strike.
He's another one, 1 for 2 tonight with a walk, a single, and a line drive.
So innings 5 and 6 belong to the Perth Heat. Ground ball and Gopay. Oh, cannot handle it. They turn and they will. No play at the plate here, surely. Yes,
Got him,
there is.
got him on the
He's
hand.
out.
Yeah, that's a
He
great
did get
tag
him on
from
the
Jack
hand.
Murphy.
A very good throw from Ngope and a good tag from Murphy. Great teamwork, and they get a charging Robbie Glendenning.
No, that was
it was
Cassar.
Jordan Cassar coming from second base. Glendenning will be...
He'll be the fielder's choice or the E6,
he will
depending
be
on how
left
it's scored.
on. Yeah. So Cassar becomes the third out there with a play from 6-2. So 3 out now, and that shuts down the Perth attack on the top half of the 6th inning. But not until they take a big lead here. It is Perth 5 runs leading the Blue Sox 3.
For all your printer and copier needs, speak to the professionals at Mytronics. Mytronics are Australia's largest brand independent office equipment and supply company. Mytronics are proud to be wholly Australian owned and operated and stock all the best and most famous brands of printers and copiers. Mytronics guarantee to better any valid Australian quote, so you can be sure you are getting the best value and service when you buy or lease your chosen product from Mytronics. So jump online and check out the massive range of printers and copiers and all of the services provided at mytronics.com.au. Mytronics are proud sponsors of the Sydney Blue Sox.
And that's it, Cam. And Perth Heat will return to the mound with Dylan Unsworth. Still out there. He's going through his warm-up. And this will be his 6th inning on the hill.
Well, he actually now in line for the win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back out on the mound and his team's in front.
And Blue Sox with all the work to do. But what a change of fortunes for the Perth Heat. Sydney got their 3 runs in the first inning, as we mentioned earlier, but no action since.
Got some defensive changes, Harrow. I'll pick them up. Looks like our third baseman, our centre fielder and our right fielder have changed around.
That'll be changes for Bajarski.
Correct.
Ulrich Bajarski, number 25, will be out there in the field. Jess Williams leaves third base and leaves the game.
23. So Tim Kennelly, that doesn't seem right, going to third base.
Well, he's about to turn around.
That's Tim Kennelly, all right.
Yep, Tim Kennelly at third.
11 to centre field, so Cassar to centre. And Bajarski must have gone to right field. I will confirm that. 25 is in right field. That's correct. So Kennelly to third. Cassar
to
centre. And Ulrich Bajarski to right field. Moanaroa to lead off for the Sydney Blue Sox, to be followed by Kraus and D'Antonio. And quickly behind, in fact, 1-1. Playing the shift on him, but again he finds a way to short hop Cosma in the shift hole. And again, Moanaroa will find himself on base. This one should be a too hot to handle. This should be given a base hit for Boss Moanaroa.
Yeah, I'll put down single to 4 and runner on in Moanaroa. Bottom of the 6th inning here. And Blue Sox chasing a Perth Heat 2-run lead. Wow, what a game. We said it would be an exciting series, and game 1 is proving to be just that.
Michael Kraus now in batting 182 on the season. Has hit 9 long bombs. He is always a possibility of sending one out of any ballpark in this country.
And really just missing that one as it goes to the crowd and fumbled out there in the crowd.
Dropped in the crowd, yeah. That's why we say if you come into the ballpark, bring your glove.
Crowd went up and there was a big sigh. Unsworth comes to Kraus and gets him swinging high in the zone, that one. Just floating one up there.
Michael Kraus last week was 2 for 10. The 2 were both home runs. But
gee, can you complain about that?
But half a dozen of the 10 were strikeouts.
Yeah, okay. Let's see what Kraus does here. As Unsworth deals and sits him down, sends him back to the dugout on a big swinging strikeout. So 1 up, 1 on, brings to the plate our designated hitter for the Sydney Blue Sox, Trent D'Antonio.
Antonio 1 for 1 tonight. Had a single and a walk. And he is 1 home run behind Boss Moanaroa for all-time Blue Sox leading home run hitters.
Hooah.
There you go. Throwing the stats out tonight we are, Harrow.
You've got it all, Cam. The research department has been busy.
By research department, you mean my computer.
Yeah, that's it. So crowd certainly alive now and behind the Blue Sox. Wow, that was a fast swing there by D'Antonio.
Moanaroa, no real base stealing threat there at first base.
I don't think so.
He's a big boy.
He looked pretty handy in warm-up. He was wearing a blue and white beanie.
Yeah, Blue Sox beanie. You can buy those at the merch shop
It was
and
massive.
online.
Massive. Had to keep his hair in place, I believe.
Have the same problem.
I'm sure you don't. That hair would be in place no matter what.
It's in place. It's in the razor blades. It's in the razor blades at home. Anyone that saw the interviews previously,
you'll know why.
You will know why indeed.
Unsworth. D'Antonio leaves it alone. Down in the dirt.
Believe it to be 2-2. Oh, couldn't quite see that was 3-2 or 2-2 there, Harrow. If I put up, we'll go with 2-2.
Yeah, we'll go with 2-2. Our technical department has a better view than we do. Right behind the umpire.
Not going to make any difference how many balls he's got because that's strike 3.
It certainly is. And he has gone down swinging. A big K2 to back-to-back strikeouts there for Dylan Unsworth.
He's now up to 10 strikeouts.
Wow.
Through his 5 2/3 innings after a rough first innings. Has really fired back well.
What an outing.
Retired 12 in a row through the middle inning. Now is really holding Perth together. Alex Howe in what we believe is game 204 for Alex in his ABL career.
So in this break between innings, we'll bring you an update on other scores where possible. It looks like Cavalry and Geelong Korea game finished there after 9. We'll bring that to you shortly. That was an earlier start, I believe. Alex Howe at the plate again now. Runner at first, but 2 out. That one does not get through. Nobody at first. Can't make a play. Good dive defensively by Pete Cosma for the Perth Heat. But first baseman Kaleo Johnson had gone to defend as well. And we ended up with Boss Monaroa advancing to second and Alex Howe standing safely at first with a single to second.
And for the great job that he's done on the mound all night, Dylan Unsworth, I bet you there'll be a note in Brooke Knight's little notebook. Bottom of the 6th inning, 2 out. Ball hit to the 1-2 hole. Both first base and second base went for it. Where were you, Mr. Unsworth? Your job is to cover first base, to head across there just on the slight chance that Pete Cosma might have been able to make a play.
He's been there through 6 innings, Cam. Might be a bit weary.
Every time a ball's in play, everybody has a job, Harrow.
There's a cover job somewhere.
Don't stand still, never stand still. We were always told there's always a place to be.
Good coaching tip for kids and coaches coaching kids.
That's it. Every time a ball is in play,
Yep, nowhere to go.
there is somewhere for you to be.
Jack Murphy at the plate now for Sydney. Can he make the breakthrough they so desire? Struck out twice swinging. Well, it's in play. Unsworth chases it. He'll make a play at first. And up there at first base, Kaleo Johnson. He gets the out on a charging Jack Murphy. So it was a 1-3 play that gets the third out. Shuts down this attack from the Sydney Blue Sox with 2 runners left stranded. And after 6 complete here at Blue Sox Stadium, it is the Perth Heat leading the Sydney Blue Sox by 5 runs to 3.
In 1928, Petrus Cornelis Nicholas Middendorp founded his business, Middendorp Electric Goods Supply Company, selling imported light globes, vacuum cleaners and other electrical products. Business began booming, so Petrus and his sons opened the first Middendorp branch in a converted church on La Trobe Street in Melbourne in 1956. This was the first of many branches that would eventually spread across the country, trading as Middies in its signature pink colour.
And back at Blue Sox Stadium, another change on the mound for the Sydney Blue Sox, replacing Todd Van Steensel. We are now going to, we got 25 or we got 26 out there? We got 26 out there. So that will be Luke Wilkins out there for the Blue Sox. So manager Shane Barclay throwing everything he can at the Perth Heat. No good keeping them in the bullpen. They need to win this game, especially, as you said, Harrow, doing around the ground scores. You were saying earlier that the Canberra and Geelong Korea game looks over.
It is over. Sorry, Cam, it is over. 3 runs to 0. Canberra defeat Geelong Korea 3-0 after 9.
Well, that hurts the Blue Sox because that's now 2 games in a row. The Cavalry have taken over Geelong, and that puts the Cavalry a couple of games in front of the Blue Sox as it stands.
And then we've got the Melbourne Aces and the Brisbane Bandits doing battle. It looks like the bottom of the 9th, and Melbourne are leading Brisbane 5-1.
That helps the Blue Sox and hurts the Heat. That will drop the Bandits a further game behind the Blue Sox and the Cavalry, and of course the Tuatara. The Bandits 4th place in that division at the moment.
Yep.
And the Aces flying high.
And we have Tuatara and Adelaide Giants. After 6, it's 1-0 Adelaide. But they're home to Adelaide, so it's a 7 innings game, that one.
No, it'll be a 9 inning if it's at Adelaide. So if it's at Adelaide, they should be playing, unless they might be playing a double-header tonight.
They could be doing double-headers, I think.
I've got a feeling they're playing 9. They should be playing 9.
Yeah, okay. It has
They've just started the 7th inning.
Yeah,
Yep,
they've started
that's all.
the 7th. Yep.
So here we are, the top of the 7th here. Johnson, Hulsizer, Alvarez, the due-ups. Hulsizer swings, falls behind 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Luke Wilkins, the new pitcher on the mound for the Blue Sox. Wilkins takes his time, basically goes with the 3-pitch combo, and he will find the outside corner to ring up Johnson on strikes. Caught looking, Kaleo Johnson goes down, the first out top of the 7th, but Perth leading by 2. They lead at 5-3 here in the 7th inning.
They've got a little bit of wiggle room, but with 3 innings still to play, there's a lot of baseball left in this game.
Blue Sox need to shut Perth down and get some offense happening as Hulsizer steps in. He is 1 for 3 tonight. Wilkins finds that inside edge for a called strike. Had a single, a strikeout, and a line drive to the third baseman. Now behind 0-2. The wind-up fastball just misses, maybe up a little bit, maybe outside a fraction. Good pitch, though, from Wilkins, trying to get Hulsizer chasing. Good discipline from Hulsizer to hang in there. 1-2 pitch. He can't hang back this time. He will go down on strikes for back-to-back strikeouts for Luke Wilkins and the Blue Sox here at the start of the 7th.
Just what the Blue Sox needed. No momentum for Perth. Take the momentum out of the game.
Try to get this crowd back into it. Try to get a little bit of energy back into this ballpark. It's been all the Perth heat since inning number 5 started. The Blue Sox trying to wrest some momentum back from the Perth heat. Roberto Alvarez taking all the way, pitch 1, called strike.
What a nice pitch from Wilkins for that first one. Just painting the outside edge nicely. Alvarez wanting to look at where it is.
Breaking pitch from Wilkins, the first one we've seen in for a strike. A lovely decision to go to that at this stage of the inning.
I think Alvarez thought that was going to be the same pitch in the same location. Certainly was not. Only similar.
So now Alvarez behind 0-2. Went back to the fastball, missed it downstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We thank you so much for being with us tonight here on Blue Sox TV. Paul Harrow-Harradine alongside me, Big Cam Hickson, bringing you all the action of the Blue Sox versus the Perth Heat from Blacktown International Sports Park in Rooty Hill, about 40 minutes west of the heart of Sydney's CBD.
Don't forget, tomorrow night's game starts at 6:30 p.m, 1 hour earlier than tonight, so tune in earlier.
3:30 over there in the Golden West.
Yep. Get the barbecues fired up. Get a watch party going on Saturday night.
2-2 pitch now, coming to Alvarez. He hits it straight at Moen Aroa, gets a bad hop, fumbles it, kicks it, gives it, grabs it, steps on the bag and gets the third out for the Blue Sox. Made a meal of it, did Boss, but he got there in the end, which is all that matters. He got his hands on it, got it onto the bag, and the Blue Sox retire a 1-2-3 inning for the Perth Heat. And that will take us to the 7th inning stretch, where we will just take a little bit of a break and listen to the sounds of the ballpark during the 7th inning stretch.
Take me out. Change for Perth Heat. New on the mound, number 35, Carlos Garcia.
And back here at Blue Sox Stadium, there is a pitching change for the Perth Heat. Dylan Unsworth is done after 6 completed innings. Has done a really nice job for the Perth Heat. I'll get you his stats up in a moment. And going into the game will be the Dominican Republic reliever that we mentioned earlier. That is Carlos Garcia onto the mound for the Perth Heat. Garcia with an ERA of 2.25 this season on 12 innings pitched. Given up just the 9 hits, 6 runs, 3 of them earned. 20 strikeouts in those 12 innings. So something for the Blue Sox to look out for. Michael Campbell to lead off for the Sox. Jacob Eunice in the on-deck circle. Gift Nagope is in the hole. The Blue Sox trail it by 2 here. Headed to the bottom of the 7th. Campbell, first pitch, drives it straight at Tim Kennelly playing at third base. You won't get many errors out of Tim Kennelly, and none coming there as he fires it across the diamond for the first out. So Garcia with 1 pitch and 1 out. Handy start for him and the Perth Heat here in the bottom of the 7th.
Certainly is, Cam. Garcia is an imposing figure on the mound. 21 years old, can you believe it?
Jacob Eunice playing game 300 tonight. Heads out, takes a first pitch strike from Carlos Garcia. A couple of people impressed at the fact that we got through the 6 innings with Dylan Unsworth on the mound and didn't call him Barry on one occasion.
Somebody had to say it.
Barry Unsworth, a former Premier of New South Wales.
Certainly was, a long time ago.
This one hit high into centre right. Going around will be Kassar and Bajarski. Kassar will take the catch. And Eunice down on the fly for the second out here in the bottom of the 7th.
I'm pretty sure Kazar called him off. They're still having a chat about it. I think Bajarskis is saying, I was there, I had it covered. He said, yeah, but I called you off. I'm centre field.
Yeah, I'm the centre field.
No.
Yeah. I started the game. You're a replacement. Out the way. Called strike to start things off on Gift Nagope now for the Blue Sox. And quickly behind 0-2 is Nagope. Went for the curve low and outside, trying to get Nagope to chase. Too low in the dirt, well outside. Nagope to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 5 runs to 3 it is. The Perth Heat over the Sydney Blue Sox here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 1-2 pitch, high towering fly ball to shallow centre field. Jordan Kassar is all over it, camps underneath it, takes a comfortable catch, and that is the Blue Sox done and dusted here in the 7th inning. Side retired in order, 1-2-3. And after 7 completed innings here at Blue Sox Stadium, it is the Perth Heat now leading the Sydney Blue Sox by 5 runs to 3.
Are you struggling with the rising cost of power? You are not alone. Over 2 million Australian homes have now installed solar. The The average size solar system can save you around $500 a quarter, add value to your home and reduce your carbon footprint. SolarAy is Australia's largest independent solar and storage installer, located right here in Blacktown. Talk to the team at SolarAy to find out if solar is right for you. Visit solaray.com.au/Blue Sox today. SolarAy Energy, proud sponsors of your Sydney Blue Sox.
Back at Blue Sox Stadium, the Blue Sox have gone to the bullpen yet again. They will make another defensive change, and that will be number 32 heading out to the mound for the Blue Sox. That will be Todd Grattan. I noticed, Harrow, a very interesting roster change for the Sydney Blue Sox in this series.
Yep.
Added to the, I guess you could call it added to the Sydney Blue Sox bullpen, onto the active 40-man roster and into the lineup sheet. Number 35 on that lineup sheet.
Number 35 reads Chris Oxspring.
Now, is that just something to fill the numbers, or is Chris possibly planning to come out and throw a couple of innings at some stage this weekend?
He wouldn't do it if he wasn't ready.
Oh, absolutely.
I can promise you
he's
that
an
much.
utter professional,
Yep.
but I just thought it very, very interesting that all of a sudden the name Chris Oxspring appears in the lineup sheet and on the 40-man active roster.
And active being the key word. Is it just to reinforce the numbers, if you like, because we're going through a few pitchers tonight, and it will be interesting to see at the end of this game. We're only in the...
If he is
top
right,
eight.
is he going to be starter number 3 for the Blue Sox? You know they'll go with Thomas Dormany tomorrow.
Yep.
That's a given.
That's a must. Yep.
Is he a starter for Game 3, perhaps?
Could be, or 4. Who will start Game 4 if...
Well, you know that
We've
Josh
got a list
Geyer...
as long as your arm.
You know Josh Geyer will be one of the starters.
Yep.
Ryan Zimmerman had a very short outing,
Sure.
in one way to put it, for against the Tuatara in Game 4. So maybe they are just one starter short, the Blue Sox.
I guess Tuatara in their second season have shocked a few people here at the moment, so there's a bit of scrambling going on.
So the Perth Heat coming to the plate, top of the 8th. Hall, Barjarski and Kennelly, the due-ups. Todd Grattan on the mound. And the first pitch low for a ball. Grattan fires back. This one's a high towering fly ball going nowhere in particular. Grattan's going to get it himself, is he? In foul territory. No Moen Aroa calls him off.
Eventually.
And the big 13-inch first baseman's Mick gets there in time to snavel that one up.
That seemed like it took an eternity with nobody absolutely reacting to it.
Grattan not afraid to get in and get his hands dirty. He's that sort of a player. He loves to be involved in every aspect of the play if at all possible. And he was across there into foul territory, ready to take it if he needed to. But Moen Aroa and Murphy were both closing on it with every step. And Moen Aroa ended up snavelling it just in foul territory. Ulrich Barjarski with that massive double to deep left field in his last time at bat. Sees a first pitch from Grattan and fouls it straight back over the grandstand out of play.
Yeah, a very handy player as he gets more and more mature, growing into the game nicely.
We've got a couple of good young players that we've seen in the past. Jake Bowie, might see him in action this weekend as Grattan goes to a curveball and gets a swinging strike. Young Jake Turnbull, a couple of catches in their ranks, young players that have got big futures ahead of them over there in the West. Of course, another one of the Kennelly brothers in Sam. We haven't seen much of him. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and Ulrich Barjarski goes down. And here's Todd Grattan's first strikeout of the evening.
So we get 2 up, 2 down.
And that brings Tim Kennelly to the plate.
Back to the top of the order. And Kennelly struck out in his last appearance against Todd Van Steensels, pitching.
All over up there in Brisbane. Melbourne Aces take that one 5-1.
That's going to hurt Brisbane.
Certainly going to drop them to last place in that Northeast Division. And of course, depending on the Tuatara result, which is currently 1-0, it may put them a further game behind the Tuatara. Here in front of us, Kennelly ready. This one is tight in on the hands. Kennelly sways out of the way. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kennelly 2 for 4. A single, a double, a strikeout, a fly out. Chops this one foul down the third base line. Goes into the end of the Perth dugout.
The problem Sydney have here is they're running out of time.
They are indeed. They're down to 6 outs to find 2 runs. And the Perth Heat have a quality bullpen. Grattan to Kennelly. This one fouled off back to the screen. The count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 away. No runners on. 5-3. Perth leads Sydney. Top of the 8th inning. Watching Blue Sox TV. Big Cam Hickson, Paul Harrow-Harradine alongside us.
A few people have sent in a message asking where Amy is tonight. Amy is presently on her honeymoon.
In Europe, no less.
Yeah, after being married on the 14th of December and now honeymooning, having a great time in Europe, as Cam said. And she's away for the whole series, obviously, and may not be back until the last game of the next series. That's how good a honeymoon this is. And a very good commentator, a very good addition to our team, and we're pleased to have her on board.
Another pitch now to Kennelly. Chops it down the third base line. It'll roll foul. Eunice will cover it up and toss it up into the beer garden. And tosses it to a half a dozen patrons who sat there and just watched it. I'll leave that one for the kids.
Yeah, they're not bothered up there. They're pretty relaxed and cool out there, aren't they?
Great place to watch a baseball game from. Get your tickets to the beer garden, food and drink included. Sit down there and watch a great evening of baseball.
The real deal.
Another 1-2 pitch from Grattan to Kennelly. Off speed, it's grounded towards Nagope. He circles it, flips it across the diamond to Molinarara, and there is out number 3.
Like shelling piece for Ngope. 6-3, ground ball to the shortstop. 3 out here in the top of the 8th innings. Nobody on, 3 up and 3 down. Design Choice brings every space to life with a design solution that is conceptually beautiful, practical, cost-effective and durable for even the toughest commercial environments. Working with clients and the furniture industry for 20 years, you can rely on their knowledge and high-quality items. The Design Choice team know that selecting the right piece of furniture can be the difference between becoming just another restaurant and becoming the new destination hotspot. To see some of their creative designs, head to designchoice.net.au. And of course, Design Choice are proud sponsors of your Sydney Blue Sox.
And we thank Design Choice for getting on board with the Sydney Blue Sox. They are good sponsors. Garcia looks like he's going to continue on the mound for the Perth Heat. The Perth Heat 6 outs away from a massive first blood victory here over the Blue Sox in the 4-game series.
Yep, and the other results aren't falling the right way for the Blue Sox either.
The Southwest Division has been the stronger of the 2 divisions so far this season. You look at the records, and that Southwest Division is certainly looking as though it's the stronger division of the 2 at the moment. But all things could change as the season heads into the latter stages.
Well, the games left, I'll tell you what, Canberra, they're closing the gap on Tuatara. Blue Sox will have a bit of a gap between Canberra and themselves now. Brisbane Bandits, they didn't need to lose. So they'll be fighting right at the very end. But if you look at previous seasons, and the Bandits have been champions 4 years now, and their strength has been the back end of the season.
It certainly has been when they get home to Holloway Field. They play those last couple of rounds, the last season especially. They had the last 2 rounds at Holloway Field. I think they won 7 of the 8 games, charged home, snuck into first position in the division and went on to take the championship.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing they do.
So the Blue Sox, as we head to the bottom of the 8th, Andy Burns to lead things off. Bosmo and Aroa in the on-deck circle. Michael Krause will bat 3. Burns settles in to face Garcia, goes over the first after the first pitch, lines it into centre field, and it is plucked in a sliding catch by Jordan Cassar out in centre field.
Wow. Just hit that little bit too well.
Cassar went sliding into it, got the glove underneath it, came up with it, showed the umpire.
He made it very clear.
All she wrote for Andy Burns. Bosmo and Aroa to the plate. And instantly the Perth Heat go into shift mode. Bosmo and Aroa loves the challenge of when the opposition shift against him. Just challenges him to try and find an even smaller hole to hit it through. Robbie Glendenning goes across to the first base side of second base. Pete Cosma goes out into shallow right. And Kaleo Johnson goes a little bit closer to the line at first base and a little bit deeper. Garcia kicks, comes to the plate. Moanaroa doesn't like it, allows it to pass, called strike.
Yep, outside corner on the lefty.
Just in that sort of zone that's tough for Moanaroa. He loves to pull hit. He's a super powerful pull hitter. Leads the Blue Sox in career home runs. And there you see the big swing of Bosmo and Aroa. Fouls that one off into the grandstand. And the count now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sometimes you can get rocks and diamonds with Bosmo and Aroa. Tonight being good.
Be nice if he could slap one centre left.
There is nobody there. 2-2 pitch on its way. Swing and a miss. And another strikeout for Bosmo and Aroa, his second of the evening, to go along with a base hit and a reach on error.
Wow, 2 up, 2 down. Fly ball to centre, then a strikeout. Big swinging strikeout from Moanaroa. That brings to the plate right fielder Michael Krause.
Blue Sox fast running out of outs. Now down to 4 to try and find a way out of things. Michael Krause with a couple of strikeouts and a fielder's choice. Chops one into his foot to start things off.
A reminder again, tomorrow night, 1 hour earlier, the game start time is 6:30 p.m.
That's a swing from Krause for called strike number 2.
Through the zone as well. Then, of course, Sunday's game is 4 p.m. in the afternoon, 4 p.m. And then game 4 on Monday at high noon.
A rare Monday outing here at Blue Sox Stadium.
Absolutely, 12 noon, hottest part of the day. Wonderful.
Well, they are the Perth Heat. They're called the Perth Heat for a reason, Harrow.
They'll be amongst it.
Krause, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Garcia fires, lifting high, towering fly ball. It's going to get out of play, though, on the breeze. It'll go out over the family hill, where Funky Phil is down there being the king of the kids.
As he does every home series. Has a lot of fun, makes them have fun as well.
This pitch just low. Krause will survive. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is in there for strike 3. Rung up on strikes, Michael Krause. And that'll be all she wrote for the Blue Sox here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Krause will go down looking. That's 2 consecutive strikeouts for Carlos Garcia. He's retired 6 in order, the only 6 he has seen. And after 8 completed innings at Blue Sox Stadium, it is the Perth Heat leading the Sydney Blue Sox by 5 runs to 3.
And Lush Greenery is your comprehensive commercial supplier for all your artificial greenery requirements. From concept to completion, they are there every step of the way to help make your garden area or interior area look amazing. Lush Greenery covers your interior and exterior designs, from a range of barn doors to green walls, planter boxes to climbing vines, and many more options. To see samples of their spectacular green walls and for more information, visit lushgreenery.com.au. That's lushgreenery.com.au. And of course, Lush Greenery are proud sponsors of your Sydney Blue Sox.
That they are, Harrow. We're glad again to have them on board. I probably shouldn't give you the Lush Greenery at it in inning 8, should I?
Not in the 8th inning. No, happy to read it earlier, Cam.
We'll, yeah, be that up for tomorrow. We'll get you doing innings 7 and 8, and I'll do the reads.
We'll figure it out.
In the 8th. So we're heading to the top of the 9th inning. The Blue Sox with a mountain to climb. They trail by 2.
I can't see a way out.
That's Chris Oxspring on the mound. That is Chris Oxspring on the mound for the Sydney Blue Sox.
We mentioned 35.
I'm sure that's Chris. That is him. So there we go. What's it been, Harrow? 3-4 years since we've seen Chris.
Stocky Oxy.
The Ox, as he's affectionately known by everyone around here. And said Merry Christmas to him as we came in and had a bit of just a small chat to him before we did those interviews earlier today. And didn't let on anything that he was going to come into the game.
Well, there he is. And he'll be rolling his arm over here in the top of the 9th innings.
Come on, Sydney, let's make some noise for our guys here.
We're a little bit silent here at the moment. We just heard a stat from the ground announcer. We're not going to repeat it.
No, we're just doing some fact checking.
Yeah.
No, he couldn't be that old, could he?
Research department is working overtime at the moment. It is 2019, isn't it? No, I don't think he could be. However, we'll confirm that and get back to you. Mind you, he's been a pitcher for a long time, but he's not that old. Unless he was a pitcher when he was 7.
Well,
he could have been.
He didn't say it was in the ABL.
Correct.
Pete Cosma, the batter at the plate for the Heat. Jordan Cassar and Robbie Glendinning, the due-ups.
That didn't come from our research department, I can tell you.
No, I'm onto the research department myself right now.
So some arms certainly being rolled out tonight for the Blue Sox. We've had Maestri, Marksbury, Van Steensel, Wilkins, Grattan and now Oxspring. Interesting. A little taste of what's to come. High fly ball, deep right field. Ulrich Bojarski underneath it.
That'll be Michael Krause.
He takes a catch there. Michael Krause out there?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, wrong team. Oh, there's the fiction.
There we go. We'll get Michael Krause out there and just doing some research. Chris was born in 1977.
I'll turn the page.
Which makes Chris 42 years young.
Correct.
Which means he could have technically pitched in the 80s in junior baseball. And the 90s and the noughties and the 10s.
Nah, it didn't happen.
He might have been a pitcher for his local team.
I think someone's been fed incorrect information somehow.
But Jordan Cassar at the plate now for the Perth Heat. That's the pitch that he has struck so many people with. Struck them out with over the years. Chris Oxspring, that beautiful big breaking pitch. The 12-6 hook curveball that really is set up on the back of his fastball and cutters. Gets Cassar now to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cassar having a good night out. He's 2 for 3. Single and a double. Again, the breaking pitch. Cassar couldn't lay off it. Just a little, excuse me, foul back to the net. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 away here, top of the 9th. But Perth with a massive 2-run lead over the Sydney Blue Sox. Oh, tight pitch there. Brave leave that by Jordan Cassar. Called a ball. This one is hit back up the middle. And Jordan Cassar is going to have himself a 3-hit night. He'll go 3 for 4 with that hit to centre fielder Michael Campbell.
Straight through the gap on that ground ball. Hard hit ground ball. And it travelled a long way. None of the infielders could get to it.
So Robbie Glendinning steps in now to try and keep things going. The Blue Sox play shallow. Eunice and Nagope playing shallow. Nagope now backing off. Eunice staying in on the grass as Glendinning fouls this one off.
Okay. Interesting. For 4 decades, though. A decade is 10 years.
Yeah.
That's 40 years of pitching.
Ox, you're not that old.
That's what he just announced. He's 42.
Called strike there for Oxspring on Glendinning. Count quickly to 0-2. Runner at first, 1 away. Here, top of the 9th. So Glendinning steps in 0-2. Runner at first. Veteran pitcher Oxspring on the mound for the Blue Sox. Tries fastball, misses it upstairs. Great to see Chris out there. He's a wonderful baseball person. This one chopped to Mo and Aroa. They're going to try the 3-6-3. Nagope the first pass, back to Mo and Aroa, but not in time. The most difficult double play to turn in baseball, the 3-6-3. Mo and Aroa did his job. Should he have maybe stepped on the bag first and then gone to gift Nagope for a put out and a tag out at second? Don't know. Would have been tight. He tried the 3-6-3. They got the lead runner, which is a big thing. They couldn't quite turn the double.
It was a nice attempt, though. They thought it out. And like you said, there were other options there, but he went with his momentum.
He had to take his time and do a double pump because Nagope didn't get to the bag in time. He was going as quick as he could, but because it was a drive straight at Mo and Aroa on the half hop, Mo and Aroa had to wait for him to get there, and that was probably the difference between them turning it and not turning it.
2 out. Runner at first, Kaleo Johnson at the plate.
He's 1 for 4 tonight. He's got a single, a fly out, and a couple of strikeouts. Perth Heat looking for insurance. They lead by 2. They've got a runner in first in Glendinning. Oh, bat away into the beer garden.
It's over there.
It's ended up in the beer garden. Is that a souvenir for the young kid? They're going to let him keep it? No, he's going to have to hand it back.
No.
Yeah, you've got to hand it back. Robbie Glendinning he wants Pine Tar, and then he wants his bat back. The Brook Knight will run it back, and they're going to bring out some Pine Tar, I think, from the dugout. Are they? No, he's just going to get it off the middle section
down
of the bat
a little bit. Down the bat just a little.
Hopefully, it's none of it anywhere up near the maker's name.
Not anymore. There's not.
So Johnson will settle himself back in there. Count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Oxspring hanging in there for the Blue Sox. This one's chopped into the dugout. Right, kicks off the fence. Brook Knight will have to pick that one up in the third base coach's box. That one will go into the Perth Heat practice bag. Oxspring just composes himself, gets a little bit of rosin on the hands.
It's good to see him out there, to be honest.
It's fantastic to see him back.
It's not that old. Wish I was that old again.
Johnson swings and misses. Oxspring will get strike 3. He will close Perth Heat out here in the top of the 9th. But will it be enough? We're heading to the home half of the 9th. And the Blue Sox have a massive job to do. They are 3 outs away from defeat. They are 2 runs away from tying it up. We head to the bottom of the 9th with the Perth Heat leading the Sydney Blue Sox 5 runs to 3. Now, Harrow, as you have said, tomorrow afternoon it is a 6:30 start here at Blue Sox Stadium. So that will be 3:30 over in the west. If you want to tune in and join us again, we'd love to have you aboard. We've loved chatting with everybody. Thank you guys so much for being with us.
We love the feedback, no matter what it is.
Sending through the tweets, the SMSs, the live chat on YouTube. There will be no post-game interviews this evening, only due to the technical gremlins running around the stadium today.
Absolutely.
The fact that we don't have a scoreboard and we're struggling with a bit of the wireless communications in the stadium. We will have a pre-game and post-games tomorrow, I believe, all things being equal. So we will do a pre-game and a post-game tomorrow.
And then on Sunday, we've got a 4 p.m. start. Early for those people over in the west. Time for a lunchtime barbecue.
Lunchtime game.
And then Monday, of course, 12 noon, another lunchtime game for everybody.
Well, a Monday
anywhere
morning
in
game
Australia.
over in Perth.
Well, it will be.
9 a.m. over there.
Brunch.
We have a change on the mound for the Heat. Trying to close it out. Looks like number 14 to me. Just checking our...
Yeah, you're right, Cam. It is 14. Jorge Perez. Hip, hip.
Jorge
Perez.
Jorge is out of Tolleson in Arizona, even though that sounds a very Latin name, doesn't it? He's from Arizona.
Yep.
Went to school in the Grand Canyon.
There you go.
Was picked up.
You've flown over the Grand Canyon, haven't
I've
you,
been
Cam?
down into the Grand Canyon. I proposed to my wife at the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
You see a school there?
I didn't see a school there. Picked up by the Yankees in the draft of 2014. Has been brought on to close things out for the Perth Heat. He will be facing the 6, 7 and 8 hitters in D'Antonio, Howe and Murphy, who are a combined 2 for 9 so far tonight.
Last roll of the dice for the Blue Sox.
Antonio takes first pitch high. Can the Blue Sox muster some sort of Christmas miracle here at Blue Sox Stadium, or will the Perth Heat go on to take game 1 of the series? D'Antonio slaps it hard into centre right. Getting around will be Bojarski, and Kassar again will call him off though. And Jordan Kassar with the first out here of the bottom of the 9th. The Perth Heat 1 step closer to victory.
Got plenty of bat to ball there, but just a little bit too much under it. Popped it right up there. And Kassar all over that.
And now it's down to Alex Howe.
Change, number 12.
No, that's Alex. That looks like Alex. He's a lefty.
Oh, yeah. I've gone jumped down the line again, Cam. At least I'm on the right page this time. Just testing everybody, as usual.
Alex Howe takes the ball outside, ball 1. Low and inside.
Lord Howe.
2-0 for Alex Howe. Jorge Perez looking for the save. That one is low for ball 3. Just having a look down there, I can't see Jack Murphy anywhere. He should be in the on-deck circle. He's definitely not in the on-deck circle.
I knew there was a pinch hitter somewhere.
Looks like Max Brennan is in the on-deck circle. So pulling out all the stops, manager Barclay. But if it comes off, you now don't have a catcher. That will be an interesting decision to make should the Blue Sox come back. We'll see. 3-1 pitch is in there for a called strike. Howe doesn't like it. He was on his way up to first base and thrown the bat back to the dugout and everything. Has to pick it up now and come back to the plate. And Perez will present him with a full count pitch.
A little battle here. He's shaken off 3 pitch selections from his catcher.
Closers usually don't have 3 pitches.
He's going to start again.
He says, come and chat to me. He said, I've got fastball, I've got curveball, I've got cutter, I've got slider, I've got knuckleball. Which one do you want again?
He might have only shaken off 2. But they needed a chat, that's for sure, because his head was still shaking. No. And Roberto Alvarez has gone, what on earth? We better have a talk about this. A funny little interaction there.
So Jorge Perez and Alvarez on the same page. But Howe breaks that one up as he fouls it off into the beer garden. And good thing that the heads are up over there as that one sort of managed to sneak through the netting.
And we also noticed the little guy that threw the bat back over earlier was given a little
there you
reward.
Go, given a souvenir.
Yep.
Don't forget, if you do come out to a Blue Sox game, the players do hang around after each and every game.
Come out and get an autograph.
That's exactly right. Get them all, get your balls out and get them autographed. 3-2 pitch to Howe is low and outside, ball 4. Alex Howe will walk, and the Blue Sox will have the tying run coming to the plate in the form of Max Brennan. So Jack Murphy has been given a spell, and Max Brennan will get the job to try and keep things going for the Blue Sox.
Cam, I think that is only the second walk of the game issued apart from the hit by pitch at the start of the game. That's what my stat sheet's telling me. Might have been the third. Yep, one for
hit by
Robbie
pitch.
Glendinning.
Yep. Trent D'Antonio drew one himself.
2 others. It's pretty good.
Low and outside again. Perez this time to Max Brennan.
Tying run at the plate.
Can Max Brennan find himself a way to get aboard? Because it will be another pinch hitter. Michael Campbell has been given the evening off, and it will be Connor McDonald to the plate if they go that far. Max Brennan had a chance to get hit there by that pitch by Perez, but jumps out of the way. Not sure the coach will be overly rapt about that. The tying run could have been a board for the Blue Sox. I understand how quickly Perez throws and how it'll hurt for a week. But Brennan now ahead. 2 balls, no strikes, runner at first. The Blue Sox down by 2, bottom of the 9th. Perez reaches back, that's a strike, straight down the tube. Absolutely no dramas. But when he's thrown 4 to Alex Howe and 2 in a row to you, disciplined batting from Max Brennan to take until he throws a strike. Now we'll see what Brennan has to offer as Perez looks over at Alex Howe, comes to the plate. This is low and outside, 3-1.
Missed by a long way.
The Max Brennan who brought up game 100 in Auckland last week. 3-1 pitch on its way. It is in there for a called strike. Yeah,
Oh.
I got no doubt about that. That was a called strike all day from where we sit.
He tried to buy it.
He was trying to convince umpire Ben Nash, who was having none of it. Absolutely none of it. And now another full count pitch, this time to Max Brennan. Perez just has to wheel back and just challenge him. Outside half fastball. That's what he throws, and Brennan fouls it away, so good job from Brennan. That ball into the dugout seats. A souvenir down there for one of the lucky Blue Sox spectators. The Anderson family down there, I think, sitting in the dugout seats. I did see Craig here earlier tonight. 99 games with the Blue Sox, Craig Anderson. This pitch, it's a little bleeder. It's going to drop in. It's going to be a tough play. It's going to be no play. He's going to beat him. He beat him to first base. Whoa. He's called him out. And now he's waving him safe, is he? Barclay's going to get himself ejected. Of course he is. To me, that was a terrible decision. I thought Max Brennan beat him to the bag. It is what it is. He's called out at first base. The runner advances to second. And Shane Barclay is furious with the decision of the first base umpire, Bobby Crawford.
Wow. Game changer.
It was a little bleeder that landed between the mound and first base. And it was a tough play. Johnson came forward to try and catch it, getting off the mound Perez, and they sort of crossed over with a half step. And then all of a sudden, Johnson realised he had no one to throw it to, and then he had to run it to the base himself. It was a race to the base. Diving head first was Max Brennan. Looked like he got there in time, not in the opinion of first base umpire Bobby Crawford. He rang him up in outs. Alex Howe advances to second base, but a massive call in the scheme of the game, as Brennan will be the second out at first base.
And it appears Riley Barrington would be the crew chief of the umpires, who had the final word. And
Shane Barclay was ejected as he came out there.
Brendan Kingman went out to separate them, and Brian Murphy. Now the base coaches are taking charge of this game right here, right now.
Another pinch hitter for the Blue Sox in Connor McDonald, but what a massive call in the scheme of the game. It could have been runners on. Now they're going to take a pitching change, the Perth Heat, are they? They're going to send the pitching coach out to the mound. So ducks and drakes and all sorts of drama here in the bottom of the ninth at Blue Sox Stadium.
Wow. Wow, and that's going to slow things down a bit. Certainly liven the crowd up. Nobody's left.
The Blue Sox are fuming in their dugout. There's been helmets and bats bounced and thrown. They are not happy campers down there one little bit.
Well, the decision there on that play by Max Brennan to get down and dirty and reach out with his fingertips, it would be interesting to see on the replay of the tape what we picked up there, and we'll be able to
we'll watch
have
it back,
a look
we'll
at
watch
that
it back later tonight.
Tomorrow in the cool, calm light of day.
Well, we might go for a debrief at a fast food restaurant not far from here that's open 24 hours.
Only just opened since Christmas.
And have a debrief as Perez comes now to the plate. Now facing Connor McDonald.
For our viewers' information, Cam and I, of course, are looking out of the window at the ground. We don't actually watch too much on the monitor. And so we will review that later on. Will be interesting.
Two low outside pitches.
Yeah. Two out. Runner at second in the shape of Alex Howe. Connor McDonald at the plate. The tying run.
1-0 pitch, swung on and fouled off.
Wouldn't it be nice to go extra innings? Ooh-wee.
Connor McDonald has 3 home runs on the season. The Blue Sox would love him to be able to launch one out here tonight. This is outside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Might be a little late, Cam.
Oh, all the crowd get their rally caps on. They should be on their feet waving anything that they have that's blue. Two-one pitch from Perez to McDonald. Swung on and lined into right. The Blue Sox are alive. They're going to hold Howe at third. So now the tying run is at first base for the Blue Sox. And Jacob Eunice in game 300. A walk-off bomb in game 300, Harrow.
Stop it.
Could there be a fairy tale here at Blue Sox Stadium? Pinch runner. Connor McDonald is done. Jalen Ray, the little whippet out there to take things over at first base.
I talked about earlier the structure of Brian Murphy coaching at third base and the patience of the man to build
no good getting
pressure.
No good getting toasted when you're not the winning run.
Exactly.
If you're the winning run, then maybe you can send him to the plate. But on this occasion, you had to hold him. So Jacob Eunice to the plate. Jalen Ray goes out as the pinch runner at first base. The Blue Sox have the tying run at first base. Perez Working hard. That's inside on Eunice. And again, I know a few batters in this league would have turned their back on that and worn that on the left tricep.
Wow.
Perez working hard to get the heat out of this. That pitch is down the centre for a strike. No questions about that. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jacob Eunice. Do you send Jalen Ray sometime here, Harrow, with 2 out? Do you send him to second base and try and get him into scoring position?
He's got to be there.
Eunice waits now. That's another called strike. That is straight down the tube. The Blue Sox, they're down to their last strike. They have runners on the corners. They trail by 2. Surely you've got to take the risk of sending Jalen Ray now. Get him up there into scoring position. 10:30 here on the east coast of Australia. Bottom of the 9th. The Blue Sox down to their last out. He gets away. That'll score Alex Howe. No, it won't. Oh, you'll hold up at third. Jalen Ray will advance to second.
Wow.
The ball got away from Alvarez, went to the back net, and Alex Howe didn't see it, didn't react quickly enough, and got stranded at third base.
Perez was late to react on the mound as well, and so too was Alvarez, the catcher. You mentioned that, and Howe just missed the jumper fraction. But again, it's that pressure situation. 2 runners in scoring position.
The Blue Sox, they're down to their last strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runners at second and third. Bottom of the 9th, 2 out. Game 1 of a 4-game series. Jacob Eunice. He's in. He hits it towards shortstop. Glendenning comes up with it, fires it to first base, and the Perth Heat will win Game 1 of the series. They will take it by 5 runs to 3 over the Sydney Blue Sox. Oh, it got tight in the end, but the Perth Heat prevail, and they will increase their record in the the Southwest Division and head back to second place on that ladder. Oh, it was tight in the end, but the Perth Heat did enough.
Well, I mentioned earlier that they'd run out of time, they'd run out of outs, the Blue Sox, and they just couldn't mount that attack back since the first inning. We've got to keep reminding ourselves that the Blue Sox scored their 3 in the bottom of the first inning. No more runs after that. So they've gone 8 innings runless. They put a lot of pressure on, but not enough. And we saw after that first innings what the pitching through Dylan Unsworth for the Perth Heat did. It was 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down. Need I go on? He just shut down the Sydney attack after that first. And that was what was important to them. Then he had to rely on the Perth Heat coming back with their attack. And that looked doubtful at many stages here. And it wasn't until the pitching stages started to happen. Maestri left the game, and that's when Sydney started to buckle under that pressure of the Perth Heat.
The 5 runs for the Perth Heat coming in those 5th and 6th innings. As you said, Harrow, the Blue Sox got their 3 in the first. And really was a ding-dong battle. As you said, Unsworth very good for the Perth Heat. He will pick up the win. The loss will go to, I believe it'll be Matt Marksbury who will be responsible for the go-behind run. So I believe the loss will go to Marksbury. We'll get all that officially when the scores get finalised and done. But that pretty much is it from Blue Sox Stadium tonight. 5-3. You've got it as the Perth getting their 5 hits, their 5 runs on 14 hits.
Yep.
And again, we're not sure about the errors.
And
possibly 2 errors and 9 left on.
And then on the other side of the ledger, it was Sydney with 3 runs off 7 hits and 7 left on.
So Perth certainly having the better of it and probably deserving to go on to victory number 1. But I'll tell you what, there'll be a lot of talk about that call at first base in the bottom of that 9th inning. They can talk all they like, though. It's in the books. And Perth Heat 5, the Sydney Blue Sox 3.
The ejection of Shane Barclay, the Sydney manager, of course, during that call. To recap the other games around the country, Canberra Cavalry have defeated Geelong Korea 3-0. And, of course, Melbourne Aces, called earlier, they defeated the Brisbane Bandits by 5 runs to 1. We've got the result here, Perth 5-3 over Sydney. And then in the other game, it was Adelaide Giants That's still in progress, that game. Adelaide versus Auckland Tuatara. That's a 1-0 ball game with the 9th inning still left to play. So that's all tight down there, but Adelaide leading Tuatara by
well, they're the two leaders, the two divisional leaders. So if you've have had enough of Blue Sox baseball, jump over and watch the last little bit of the Giants versus the Tuatara, because they are the two divisional leaders going head-to-head this weekend.
Absolutely. Well, we mentioned earlier we will be back tomorrow on air at about 6:15 p.m. For a 6:30 first pitch. And we look forward to you joining us then on this Blue Sox broadcast. Tell your friends and family about the YouTube channel, Blue Sox TV. They too can join in and watch. If you're having a watch party, let us know. We'll give you all the contact details tomorrow once again. But just briefly, it is on Twitter, Blue Sox TV.
Yep, at Blue Sox TV.
Yep, is the handle. And on SMS 0412 203 068. We look forward to you joining us then for a broadcast starting at 6:15 tomorrow, Saturday afternoon. In the meantime, it's bye for now.
See you later.
Are you struggling with the rising cost of power? You are not alone. Over 2 million Australian homes have now installed solar. The average size solar system can save you around $500 a quarter, add value to your home and reduce your carbon footprint. SolarAy is Australia's largest independent solar and storage installer, located right here in Blacktown. Talk to the team at SolarAy to find out if solar is right for you. Visit solaray.com.au/Blue Sox today. SolarAy Energy, proud sponsors of your Sydney Blue Sox.
In 1928, Petrus Cornelis Nicholas Middendorp founded his business, Middendorp Electric Goods Supply Company, selling imported light globes, vacuum cleaners and other electrical products. Business began booming, so Petrus and his sons opened the first Middendorp branch in a converted church on La Trobe Street in Melbourne in 1956. This was the first of many branches that would eventually spread across the country, trading as Middies in its signature pink colour.